no walls amongst the line. There's a rare few who think outside the box together for the crew. To break the equations, not bound to any rule. Exposing to the world the universe's own view. It takes the talent of the craftsman, it takes the mind of the fool, to make the vision realize energy and matter in a duel. To a break, to a duel. The old man Bills was running through his head. Cheryl probably got it hiding under his bed. Penny up to Annie making power for days. Don't listen to a word that the straight no says. Mike building batteries that power a ship. Victor comes in talking math, that's the water spiral dip. Sean trucking plasma bolts a mile long. Sheila on the video making tones from the prongs. Bernie breaking matter, they said it couldn't be done. And to all the people in the chat, I know you're having fun. So it's time to spend your Saturday with the dope and old man Bills.
Hello everyone, welcome to Nathan's, otherwise known as Old Man Bills. What's going on, Joe?
Hey, what's up, Nathan? What's up, everybody? Yeah.
What's going on, guys? I'm sicker than a dog right now.
That makes two.
Oh, right on. We'll get through this one, man. We got some cool stuff going on. I got some testing that I did. Even though I was sick, man, it's kind of got some weird effects. I guess, what do you want to do? Start at the beginning where I first started, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think show it off because these light effects are out of control. And mind you, something that I've confirmed with Nathan, that these are visible with the naked eye. This is not lens effects entirely, except for our little apparition buddy, which wait till you see.
Give me a second. Oh. Oh my God, what am I doing here? Oh, it's even worse today. You see that? Okay. So check this out. I put too much water in it, Joe. And I just want you to be able to see what happens is you'll see it form. And then every time it needs to go back and get to the water, it deforms.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I see all sorts of less than advantageous things for rat formation in this video, you know, and yep.
Yeah, but it wasn't meant to be like perfect. It was meant to show if you keep putting water into it, what happens.
Right. No, I get it.
And by the way, it's going down a crack. There's a crack right there.
Yep, I can see the crack right at the edge. Yep.
Yeah, it's sucking the water in.
100%. Yeah, you can see the bubbling, and I doubt that that's like thermal boiling. You know, that's probably a cathode reaction mixed with probably just like sucking it into the porosity of the clay.
Yeah. I want to thank Darren. He gave a free Old Man Bill's membership, man. Thank you very much,
Awesome,
Darren.
dude. Yo, thank you. Much appreciated.
Yeah, anyway, we'll move on from this. I just wanted to show it so you could see what was going on there.
Yeah, too much water is no good because then the membrane's not acting like a membrane.
Now, this is cool. And hold on, let me find it. Take a look at where the plasma's breaking out.
Yep.
Okay, hang on. I got a better one.
Yep, it's got tendrils, all right.
Oh, it's not that. Look at the actual shape. Where the black is.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, it's not creating the round node. It's got four. It's got.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's sectioned off. And it also has a hole right in the center right there. So, and it's probably the same hole that we're seeing the side of from the top side angle of the one running left to right.
Okay, well, the reason I wanted to show this was we were looking at in hydrogen.
Yep.
How many nodes does it have? You know what I mean? Where are they at? And these are crossing. It's showing you in the black area where it's crossing at, where it's breaking out. Yeah, that's why I wanted to show this. It was just kind of neat looking.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. The way that my screen is also showing this, for what it's worth, it might just be a little eye trick on my part. But directly surrounding the plasma breakout is actually darker than the ambient black. But maybe that's just, I haven't messed with that photo, but that's a beautiful photo.
Yeah, it's just kind of neat to look at.
Very cool, and that's immediately what I thought of once you pointed out the 4 zones was the hydrogen situation. Hey, look, you got a little floater guy there, huh? Above the anode. That's
Yeah,
like doing its own thing. And I had seen that in a couple of the things you sent.
it builds out on top of it. Yeah. So I thought it was important to get these when it first started because it immediately goes into this. And then you start seeing our little helper over here, our little light thing. I don't know what to call it.
I don't know. I think that we'll definitely have to collaboratively come up with a good name for that.
Yeah, well, it projects out too. So if you look beyond it, there's another little circle that goes out.
Oh yeah. Well, lens flaring does that, but this isn't lens flaring, like I've said 1,000 times, and you'll see why it's not lens flaring, a little later on. But that's absolutely incredible. You could see the sphere and how it's literally nested.
Yeah.
It's nested in that purple outer.
Yeah, by the way, this is a different thing. Instead of the pie tin, I went with a stainless steel thing that you put your bolts into that has a little magnet on the bottom of it. So
yeah, so when you started doing that, that's when it started chucking the rays, right?
yeah, it changed changed everything because now my anode and cathode are the same.
So check this out. I sent you some of the pictures that were color enhanced, and you could definitely see it with the naked eye, just the way that the sensor picked up. But there is a very, very big difference in the light waves that are breaking out, and it's all zoned.
Hmm.
And it's all zoned the same as it formed for in a cross, right?
Yeah. So I'll get to those.
So
in a
that
few
one's rad
minutes,
too, because look at this. You can actually see the 4D thing, but like you said, look, then there's a concentric circle around call it a nucleus for the lack of the better way, right?
Yeah, well,
Right
there's
there.
one out here and one behind it. You can see the one behind the whole thing.
Right.
Everywhere it's breaking out the colors in that cross shape. You can start to see it.
It always tends to form, I've noticed, relative to the beams coming out.
Oh yeah.
So it always seems to be like 45, not 45. Yeah, 45 to the beam. Like, or thereabouts, or 30 degrees to the beam, or something like that.
Well, it all matters where you put your camera at.
Yeah.
You can see the outside of this thing. It's reflecting light. The dish it's sitting in. You get a full light spectrum, by the way. That absolutely, you can see that in person 100%. Like if you look down at the bottom of the dish here, you can see the green, the blues, all of it. You see it in person.
Yeah, that's an unusual effect because you don't usually just shine a light into a stainless steel tub and then get prismatic light refraction. that's not something that generally happens, right? Because things don't do that.
Well, this one apparently does. So
Yes, it does. Yep. Oh, and it's clear as day when it does too. Like that was immediately able to pick up on it.
oh yeah, it's in every one of them. So if you look at and this is kind of hard to see, if you look at the dish itself, you're also getting the mirrored effect in the dish.
Yeah.
So you can see those two little dots right there. Those aren't dots on the plate. Those are the colored images, like inside. Like I don't even know how to say it. Like inside of a mirror of the plate. Like the plate's acting as a mirror.
Well, I mean, that's natively, in my opinion, that's natively where it exists. you've expanded quite a bit the surface area of the cathode. To the point where like you might be able to actually start to see some of these effects.
Yeah, so here they are again.
Well, I mean, you do have a cathode reaction going on also, so you're going to have hydrogen bubbles coming up.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things, so it's always just important to keep your eye out for all of them.
For sure, but I mean, that didn't explain the rab that was sitting in the cathode that you showed me before, though. I don't think we got to that one yet.
No, yeah, we're not even close to that, dude.
When you go back to that last one you were just at, you can see the rainbow clear as day right there.
Oh yeah,
but that's actually not full spectrum in this particular case. You're only getting the blue-green spectrum here.
yeah.
But that green is popping out like very sporadically and very vividly in some of the imaging. And it always looks like it's the same type of wavelength as like a green laser.
So just so you know, I haven't used the same one as Sean's using yet because he's got a conversion going on from 110 to 220. And I have a transformer behind me and I'm just been too sick to hook it up. So
you've been running at 220?
No, this is still my ZVS, man. I haven't changed it. And I found a couple interesting things, and good thing I didn't change it because I have to set up that one completely different. This this whole thing depends on the capacitance, the frequency, and the amplification. And I can change the size of this RAV. I can double and triple it based on this. The problem is the cap bank doesn't have enough caps. Like I need double the cap bank that I have to get through one spectrum and then through the second spectrum. So I haven't been able to find the second coherent zone. So the first one, I'll just remove this for a second. So you know, it's right around 95 to 97, somewhere in there. Kilohertz, 100, no, 97, yeah. Right in there. At 50 is where it starts, and then it builds that carbon layer. As soon as it builds a carbon layer, boom, it goes right into like 95, 97, somewhere in there, kilohertz, and it stays. That's where Sean's RAV is. Mine's at 140 kilohertz. So I'm beyond the zone of where it's coherent into decay, destructive. And then I need to go back and get it back into coherence. So I need more capacitance in order to do that. So I need to build out some bigger things on a board and put it together and then run it, some higher capacitance levels so it goes quicker. But it should go back into coherence again at a different resonance frequency. And then, that way I get the full spectrum of it. Because what happens is not knowing that is you have no idea where the hell you are. Because it comes out perfect on Sean's every time because it's set for that specific frequency.
Right.
So anyway, I'll put this back up.
Well, that explains a lot too. I thought you had your new power supply going. And that's why I was kind of still a little thrown off as to, why you were still getting similar effects.
Yeah, well, that's why.
But yeah, you can see all this banding. Look at that banding. That's crazy. And you're saying that's totally visible in person. I want to point that out because we clarified this before the podcast. This banding is visible.
Dude, you're getting the Holy Cross. Let me tell you that right now. There's no getting around that. You're definitely getting it.
Well, you paint a cross red like that, Nathan. Okay, and it's thinner at where it comes out and expanding from the center.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is a Templar.
Yeah.
See, red building out from the center, getting bigger at the end. That is the Templar cross. Same guys that were reaching out to you before you start showing the Templar cross.
Yeah.
And there's something else that you found that the Templars had looked for.
Oh, yeah, later on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So check this out. you see that little egg? I didn't see it before.
Yeah, it's look at the parabolic shapes that are
But that's what I mean. It
it's
makes,
just
it makes a little egg.
dimensional parabolic, and that was when I said that there was parabolic condensations, and I think somebody said to me, "Well, where's your proof of that?" Well, there you go.
Yeah. This one I probably had too much water in it, and you can see it underneath it. But you got to run it every which way. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, look at it's mirrored in the back of it. If you can see the egg coming out the top, but then if you look to the upper right, you see right up there. There's it.
The reflection, but then you also have the reflection of the other. Um, we haven't named them yet. Our ghost apparition friend.
You're getting a reflection of the cathode itself or the anode itself. Look at it. You can see it coming straight down onto it.
Oh yeah.
The energy swirls around that thing, man. I'm telling you that. It doesn't go through it, that's for sure.
Well, that's the point of that particular cathode setup, and frankly, it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. So I remember this to tell you what I was trying to tell Joe at the very last. It's going down like this. When you put water there at the bottom, it swirls the water. Okay. And on the end of the anode, you'll see it going around looking for something until it catches. And when it catches, it boom, and then it hits and makes it the sphere. Okay. But it's already spinning the water. It's like ion wind pushing on it. You know what I mean? It's already creating a force into it. That's why I think the first laser reaction was right through the anode cathode to create the carbon, which means it may be cutting out what's there, replacing it with carbon, or it may be transmutating into carbon, because it's definitely not what the pot is. It's definitely something totally different. And it'll make more sense as we get into some of the other images that burst out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if any part of those turn to carbon, we got mass. So yeah, it's just kind of neat to see it.
Yeah, no, it is. Hey guys, throw in the chat what the Knights Templar, what the couple things that they were looking for was. Throw in the chat. There was a few things they had their eye out for.
Look at that one. That looks cool.
I don't see it. Thought up.
Oh, sorry. Here I am looking at images by myself. There you go.
Yeah.
Now look at the light around the anode.
Yeah.
There's no,
It looks like the things that come off of a saint's head, right? Like a halo.
but I'm just saying, look at the light around the anode
That's
itself.
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
It's like a vortex around it. There's no getting around it. It's what we're seeing. We're seeing little light refractions everywhere. And it doesn't matter just where the lens is. It's coming straight dead across from it. You know what I mean? Right there.
So we saw the Templar cross, right? And they're saying that they were looking for the Holy Grail, right? So that's what they were looking for. Probably looking for other things too, right? Like the Ark of the Covenant. The saber, right? That spear, right? That pierced Jesus. We're looking for that.
Man, that image, it just pops up right away. So that's when I taped it, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Now, everything that I was alluding to is actually present. in its parts right here, but you have to see it from the correct angle to see it for what it is. Okay, but that's a incredible photo that is showing four-dimensionally everything that we've hoped for.
Yeah, well, we're not there yet.
No, it's not. But those are all the parts. Those are all the parts of the whole entire presentation. There, that's the one. There it is.
Hold on.
Hey
Let me
guys,
go. I got a
yeah,
better
go
one.
back one. Go, yeah,
Hold on. I got a better
yeah,
one.
that one. That one. You got,
There it is.
or that last one too is great. Guys, what is that?
Hold on. That's the one you want, Joe.
What is that? With the ring coming out the top, what is that? I think that might be it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that once you have it, you have it.
Yeah. It's just cool looking, man. It definitely makes a chalice.
Oh yeah. Go back to the last one. Yeah, a chalice with the literal Eucharist or something coming out of it. Yeah, that one too. See? And you can see it. The whole the ring coming right out the top.
Hmm.
Don't forget your little plasma burst that's blowing right up the rear end of the thing.
Yeah.
No, nobody mind that. Because it's only a lens flare.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. You shouldn't get all this.
There it is.
What gets me is the plasma in the center. Do you see it?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if that's on the clay or not because it doesn't look like it's on the clay. I didn't see it on there. But that purple plasma should not be there. Look, I'll zoom in on it. That should not be there.
No, no, and it's in every single one. It's literally got a frigging like an atmosphere burst around it, like something entering atmosphere. You know what I mean? But it's inverse. That's not the way it's going.
Yeah,
It's because you have that. Okay. Well, did you save the picture that I inversed it? I inversed it onto itself.
yeah.
Want to show that one? Oh yeah. You want to talk? All right. You got to remember something. This is only half the equation because this exists in the RAV. Okay, and this is the inverse of that. Now wait until you see what happens when you put it on top of each other.
Give me a second, Joe. This isn't in my pictures. So I have to pull it up separate. Ah, Jesus. Like everything feels like it's so hard right now. Okay, there you go.
There it is. It's all the field geometries we talked about the other day. It's right there. All I had to do was cut it out and then put it on top of each other. The ring of the Ankh and everything. The whole 9 yards. The whole works of it.
Huh. Wow. You just needed 180 degrees out from it. Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes we make sense. And sometimes we say the right things at the right times, and then we get the evidence that we knew was there all along. Very next day. But there it is. You have your two inverse fields that are doubled on both sides, counter of each other. You have the side parts creating middle zones. You even can see the 4.5 marks where those spheres are, and that's where the energy condensation is entering into that null zone.
Yeah.
You can actually see the energy traversing down, but then back up. And it did it exactly the way I said when you keyed the Ankh. That's it, man. It's insane. And this was literally a 1-minute job that I did immediately before this cast. I'm going to show this proper, and then it will be absolutely undisputable. But yeah,
Nice.
that's it. Yeah.
Watermark the fabricated pics so everybody knows which ones they are. Yeah.
Yep. Just remember, in air and atmosphere. In air and atmosphere.
Oh God, I screwed it up again. Oh, let's see which one it was.
First of all, let me just say that the amount of ultraviolet light this thing throws off
Oh
is,
yeah.
is absolutely absurd. It's like you have a black light going at all times.
Oh, dude, it's worse than that. I'm getting free LASIK. Like literally zapping my eyeballs, and I have black spots afterward.
Well, dude, you understand that coherent light in visible spectrum, like at that level, is just super and fundamentally not okay for you.
No.
And by the way, you need to share all of these pictures with me so I could go through on my own time and everything, because you gave me a couple of cherry pick pieces, but like I need to be able to go through these.
Well, like this one, I didn't move the camera up and left it on top, and you can see the colors bursting out of the center.
Yes, you
Over
can. Yeah, it's
top of it.
prismatic.
Yeah, you know what, Joe? There's a couple hundred pictures here. I have to put them on a just make a video and show each one.
Yeah, or share drive or email or.
Well, it's way too hard.
Oh,
do all
dude,
that.
yo, you could see that's like literally the eternal flame, bro. It's right there. Hold on,
Yeah.
screenshot. Like this is it, man. This is it. You're projecting reality holographically out of this thing.
There we go.
It's literally a drop in water. Do you remember how that used to be my oldest example? When you put a drop into water and then you get the droplet back out?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what this is showing in different layers of exactly that.
Oh yeah. Well, I think when it starts to go and you see this pink in there, that's a high amperage right there, and that is right before you get to matter. That's the same stage you get when you put it up against the cathode and you start getting those melted cathodes on it. You know what I mean? And they start dripping off matter from them. Well, that's what you get. But this is in the middle of the air. There's nothing there.
No.
That's what's crazy about it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we're getting to the matter conversion on this. That's why I would like to run it way out of sync, because you're not going to get it in coherence. It's when something screws up like this, you're going to get it. Yeah, it's just a blurry shot.
I don't even understand what that was, because you want to know something? Lens
What?
flares don't go out of focus, and that thing wasn't in focus.
No. This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is. You can still see it.
Right. That's, yeah. Whatever that is like, it's there. It's not on your lens at all.
Oh. Well, that makes a lot more sense.
It's just crazy how different it is still from Sean's. I like, even though I know you're running it off of ZBS still, like, and it makes sense why. It's just crazy to think that you're able to actually still sustain the sphere, you know, with that level of leakage going on.
It's because I'm a super genius. That's what
I know.
Is.
Yes. It's this.
Or just lucky as hell. Hey,
One or the other.
maybe we go with that one. No, it's crazy. Look at that. Hold on. You can start to see it wanting to form, but it looks like it's like plasma. It doesn't look like anything right there.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's drawing the plasma still. Like, I mean, it's what we talked about originally is still going on here. It's still drawing the plasma out of the clay in that circumstance. You still have a moisture component here. That's a cathodic moisture component. So you're still getting it.
So there,
That's the parabolic fucking tornado thing that I talk about. Now you can see it. That I need to save because that's proof of things. And then you can actually see that the ghost guy is also parabolic. And then I think there's one other. If I think I saw this photo. There's one other thing there that's also parabolic. I forget what it is though. There was something else in there that alluded to it. I think maybe it was the line at the end of the clay or something. But you're getting green lasers off of that and blue laser. You can see it on the far edge of the pan.
Well, just so we all understand each other, if I'm getting those kind of lasers, I must be getting different gases going on. They don't just form those colors out of the blue.
No, they form it out of the green.
Just saying, there's more going on here. There's a gas effect in this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see that little dot there? Okay, this little guy, that guy's important. See,
Yeah, he pops up from time to time.
But he's the Rav.
Yeah.
I have a video of it, dude. That's the Rav. Once you move the camera, it shows it as what it is. That's that little ghost looking guy.
Oh yeah.
That's the fourth. It'll pop out of it. It's insane when you know that. Okay, just remember that, and I'll show you a video later when it pops up. Like I said, there's a lot of these, so some of them are kind of redundant.
Oh, you got to take a lot. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, you can still see the circles in this just fine.
The demons breaking through the space-time continuum. Yep. There's about a 20% possibility of that. or at least more than none. There's a more than none possibility of that.
Sorry. Trying to. That one's crazy. Just how bright it is.
Yeah, that was very bright.
Yeah, this thing would not let me create two at a time. Like right there. Okay. So in this picture, it's weird. You see where the light's coming off it, where it is? It started,
Yeah.
It started to activate another one right under the cathode because I kept moving it. I was moving the excuse me, I keep saying cathode, the anode. I'm moving the anode around, trying to spark a second one at the same time. You know what I mean? To get them to go against each other because they won't do it on the same source. So you have to have two separate sources to get two separate RAVs at the same time. It won't work on the same one. That's why I was wondering what Sean was talking about. This right here, it started to create it at one, and I tried to get it to spark to another right away.
Yeah, and look at what it did. It just blasted it. It like
focused it.
Yeah. It looks like when a bullet hits something, you know? Yeah, I got the thing going on too, man. It's not been the best week for me.
No, it's horrible. Yeah, there's our little buddy again. He keeps showing up. I say I got to the end of it. Maybe I did. All right, let me show the video. I'll just pull the video. This is what tripped me out.
It's an interesting idea, Dennis. He says that you could attach what is holding the anode to speaker face and run your frequency generator to try to move it.
Yeah, I could.
It's interesting, you know. I mean, anytime that you're going to add either a specific frequency or you know, a light source, especially like a laser light source or anything like that, into a system like this, like the impact is probably going to be, you know, tangible.
Hmm.
What the
Gotcha.
effect is, you get us another story. I don't know.
Now watch. Remember that I told you about that little guy? Watch what he does. So there, it goes into the purple light. You pull it back, goes back to the dot. He is the RAV. That little light dot, back and forth. You see the purple coming back? And then it goes back, and it's just that little light. You can see it goes back to the multicolor light and then turns into the reflection of the RAV.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's definitely like a convex lensing effect that's occurring too, but that doesn't really matter because, again, you know, it's only like, you know, certain portions of the lensing is allowing you to see different like perspectives, I guess. Like you're basically getting a different view of a higher dimensional object. So if the convectivity is relative, you know, to the lens angle, you know, then more of it would come into view because it would become coherent with the lens at that point, which is why that there's always a relative nature to it.
Yeah, but I don't think you guys are understanding. That little dot shows up when you already have the purple thing formed in other places. Okay. And the fact that it builds out to be the purple thing,
Oh yeah.
okay, the fourth dimensional. So there's more of what I'm saying. Let me just remove this so we see it. Okay. Usually see it off to the side here. Okay. It's already built. Here's your effect going on in the center. But then over here, you'll see that light. Okay. But that light is the same thing as this little, you know, light over here. It's just small. But when you turn the camera, this one goes big and this one gets small. And then it goes back and forth.
It's inverse. Yeah, no, I totally understand.
But
What I'm saying is
they're
it's
both there at the
allowing,
same time.
right.
Both,
I get it.
okay, but they're not the same thing. I mean, they're the same thing of what they are built out to be, but it's two different images. It's projecting it in more than one place. It's not just projecting it here where it could be this is the lens and it mirrors this. It's projecting it here and here. And you're using the mirror to see inside of it. That's what I'm saying. It's a totally different concept than what most people would think. They just think we're getting a mirroring effect, it's lensing, and you're getting this cool thing. No, it's showing over here because it's the same thing, but then when you turn the camera, it shows it in a different way.
Correct. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's more.
So that's a good question that Gerald asked because it was the same question that I asked, which is Can you see that light without the camera?
I'm fucking blinded. It's like looking at welding stuff. Can you see anything in welding besides your eyeballs going black when you're done? I don't know.
Oh, you said you saw some of the like laser effects, the prismatic effects,
Oh, there, yeah,
like
like
all those sorts of things. Yeah.
oh, what's this? All the stuff on the rim of it, all the colors are 100% there. That little speck, it's there. I don't need a camera to see that.
That's what he was asking, is if you could see the light.
I can't see it going up and big like that. It doesn't. My eyes can't see that because I'm getting blinded. But that little speck I could see. That's why it was so important to see it build out like that, because I see those. Those are, throughout the thing, all around it.
So the thing that you're seeing is actually visible, but not in the full sense that you get to see it
Yes, that's
once
what I'm trying to
the
say.
lens and sensor are in play,
That's
which is
why
kind of what we were saying in the first place.
but that's
And
why
it
that
does
video
show the
is so important.
dimensionality. The dimensionality is proportional to the angle that you see it on, which is why when we were just looking at that picture of all the different effects, depending on the angle you were taking that photo from, you saw all the elements of it from a different angle and in a different configuration because of how you were viewing it. That's not like that's not what lensing. That's not what lens flares do when it's not looking at something.
But
There's
the
something there.
original light was there the whole time. I just couldn't see
Oh,
inside
Gerald
of
was
it.
here for that, man. I think you should show that again.
Well, yeah, it makes it just so much different when you know that's what it is. Because that little light right there, I see that. That little one right there. When
Which
it
is
goes
what's building out, right?
before it goes into the purple, I can see it. But my eyes can't pick up the purple. But all that multicolor right there before it goes into the purple, I see all that.
Yeah, but you also like your eyes also can't detect well into the UV spectrum, something that a sensor would be much more sensitive to than your eyes.
Oh yeah. Well, there's probably a lot that I can't see that the sensor picks up. That's probably what's going on. But by the way, just so we understand this, it looks like things are on left side or right side or this. It's 360 degrees. Okay. The things are shooting right at your face. Okay. All that light, it isn't just going to the sides and looking pretty and things like this. No, it's shooting at my face. Okay. My body starts to feel the lasers on it. You can feel it just touching your face everywhere. Okay. It's a 360-degree sphere in there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You're not taking the proper precautions given the
God,
stuff.
no, I'm not. I'm just getting the photos, man. I'm spending a few seconds doing it each time.
Yeah, no, I know.
Trying not to kill myself because I don't have the right gear right now.
Yeah.
I need a big lens shield, is what I need. A
Yeah.
big one. So, and yeah, Pete was saying use the plasma goggles from the plasma cutter. That might work better. So, 'cause we're
I agree.
definitely getting lasers out of this. Lasers and plasma all day. So, I won't say this. It's not light isn't like a light source. It literally is a fucking laser coming at you. I don't even know how to describe that because most people just think it's one light source. It's like that, but it's everywhere. I don't know. I'll find a different way to describe it.
No, I mean, I think it's pretty apparent what we're getting at with it. I mean, we've been saying it for a while, and I mean, we keep on showing it, and but the multiple angles of the chalice, that is like that's the proof in the pudding, because again, things don't do that. So things don't do that, and
Hey, there's Bob Green here.
Hey, Bob, good to see you. Yep, used to have a filter to make these in lightweight.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that we're trying to realize that that the geometries that we're seeing are still there because it's flaring from something.
Oh yeah.
So, I think that that's sort of the litmus test here is those geometries. And the ones that we're seeing are quite unique in this. And this is a leaky son of a bitch compared to Sean's. Like,
Oh,
Sean's is tight as hell. You don't really get any of this out of that.
oh, we can show it real quick. Might as well, yeah. Yeah. Sean's is so much cleaner. Let's show this one real quick before we get there. Just because it's important for everybody to see it.
Yeah.
This is the temperature from the from his thing there.
From the RAV. Yeah.
Yeah. But you see the temperature differentials in it. There's no question there's something going on besides the lens flare.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to agree.
You got 3 different temperatures on there that I can see.
Yeah. The diffusion rate is just impractical for the core temperature that's too hot to even be picked up.
Well, you can see he's got a 170, a 190, and a 244. Yeah, he's hitting a lot of different temperatures in this thing. That's the kind of the key thing to look at when you do this, because not only you see the lens things allows you to see inside of it and what it's doing dimensionally, but this allows you to see the fact that it built out in the shapes. And then on top of that, we got that, what is that thing Sean called it? That light thing that he built.
Oh, the PARP.
Say it again.
PARP, PARP, I believe he called it. It had something like photonic PARP tester or something.
So let's take a look.
No, this isn't. It's not a loop.
So yeah, check it out, man. As soon as it goes into coherence, boom, it'll set. There it is.
Yep.
And now it built the RAV.
Yep. And it's just very stable.
Yeah, clean as day, man. That's so cool. I love the fact that we get every little part of it too. It's like you have a mystery, is it just the lighting effect? Okay, but then we got the temperature sensor, right? Then you go, okay, well now we got this, and we show the coherence between all of them, man. It's amazing.
Yep.
Hmm.
I mean, the theory that we set behind it and everything makes total sense why it does this. It really puts it into perspective, by using a membrane between the anode and the cathode that really separates the differentials as much as humanly possible and regulates the interaction before the formation of it. That's sort of the key in the stability at that point. I believe. Without it, I mean, really, what makes it any different? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we know it has to do with the reflection, the refraction, mostly refraction. Obviously you're seeing the emanation from the inside of the reflected surface. Um, and some of the things that that kind of says is that, first of all, it shouldn't be mirrored, right? But it is,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting. It shouldn't be mirrored because, again, you're not looking at the reflection of it. You're looking at it from the inside of the reflection of it. So there's that aspect of it. But again, then there's the geometric aspect of it as well, where, like, if you bring up those chalice ones again, you could literally see that as you move it around, the same elements are there, different configuration, from a different point of view and angle. So there's a perspective element to it as well. And yeah, stuff is there. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, put it up, man.
So hold on. It just says who's Sean. Sean's son Calderon. He's works with us, and he shows up on Wednesdays every once in a while, man, and shows us all this cool stuff that he's working on. Sean's
Right
the man,
on.
dude.
So Sean actually came upon this experiment in a book that he bought 30 years ago. That was probably 30 years old when he bought it, and the way that the test was performed led to random anomalous events that mimicked what you see here, but ever so briefly. Right. And in order for you to take it from this anomaly, Sean was able to look at a couple of the different constants in the experiment that assisted in being able to reliably and repeatably build the sphere. And once he was able to do that, and he was able to get it stable. I mean, the amount of light that thing holds in, the amount of temperature that thing holds in, is literally remarkable. Because for how bright that is, the fact that it's only pulsing the ambient environment with light is the telltale sign. And once you have the infrared readings to coincide, you see that it's all tight concentric rings of high temperature differential that's in a very non-diffuse state. I mean, that's shows you exactly what it's doing. He did the that PARP testing on it again, like I said, and I don't know. I think he came up with that it's going something like 100,000 RPM or something.
That's something crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is pretty consistent. This is Sean's. Mine's all over the place. This is Sean's right here. You can see he's got somewhat of the blast out, but it's not the same.
No, his is in like a more cavitative, like pulse state. We've discussed that at length. Like it's really only letting any light out on the expansion of it. It expands, it lets light out, and then it goes. And the thing is, his frame rate's not high enough to pick up what the actual pulse rate of it is. But the fact is that it's visibly pulsing. Yeah, his just like he got his to the point where it's not leaky like that anymore. Now it's just a matter of like growing it out.
Yeah, just so you know, the surface when he's done, it's no longer clay. There, in certain spots of that, there is no clay. It digs it right out, and it puts down a layer of carbon. At least I think it's carbon, but it puts it right out there. There's no magnetic value to it. Nothing. It's not welding slag or anything like that. You can just put it in your hand and smush it like it's nothing. It literally is like carbon buildup is what it feels like on something when you smash it.
Well, I mean, the anode he's running is, a high carbon content.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely something going on in there, and I think it's in the gases that it's happening.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I think that while we still have Bob here, I think you should maybe just pull up those ones that we showed earlier, man, because...
Which one's that?
The one with the chalice that we were talking
Oh,
about, and on all those. No, I'm saying, like, I mean, the geometries within that are like incredible. There's color stuff going on. It's that's a lot more unique than just seeing the lens flare like that.
let's see if I can't pull it up real quick here.
Now we throw it out there that Nathan is doing it a little different than Sean is at the moment, and it's having similar but much different results in terms of its, the way that the light is putting out of it. It's and as we've already clarified, and I clarified with Nathan also on a few occasions, uh, albeit that you cannot look directly at this RAV, you can look at the ambient area, and the ambient area is showing the things that you're seeing in here for the most part. Yeah. So, like, go ahead and zoom into that thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's making a holographic projection of it is what it's doing. It's using the lens to do it and show it, but it's literally a holographic projection of kind of what's going on.
Cool.
Yeah. That little spire coming up the middle too is really neat.
What does he mean here? When are you doing the experiment, moreover, around the light source?
Yeah, he is moving around the light source.
Yeah.
In fact, he has other images of these same types of geometries that reconfigure based on his position. So if you scroll back in your own photos, Bob would be able to see that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, it shows everywhere. It all depends on where you move the camera. There's no question we're getting something off the lens.
Yep, exactly. But there was, like, you can see that the parts are there, but the configuration is different depending on the orientation of the lens.
Let me see real quick, Joe. I'm gonna pull this down real quick. Give me just a second. I want to see if I have that part where it's cut. Oh man, where did I put that? So you can see what's inside this thing.
For what it's worth, I don't know, and just to answer a question in the chat. Like, I don't know if you would see different colors in the lens flares, okay? Because the reason that you're seeing it, you have to understand the mechanism of cause here. Like, I'm no optics expert, but I have above average proficiency in optics, There's lens coatings that are anti-reflective lens coatings, and you're dealing with a convex surface. Okay, I've mapped out on multiple occasions concentric lines and center points and the angles of interaction, with the convex lens. And there's proportion, but it's not what you would typically expect, okay, to the position of the lens angle. And the whole reason you could see it is because there's an anti-reflective coating. See, if there was no anti-reflective coating, that entire space would be blown out. It'd be blown out. Like then it would be a lens flare. Because there's an anti-reflective coating, you're actually getting the colors that are associated with the anti-reflective coating, which is green and purple. And that's pretty much universal across the board for anti-reflective coatings. So whether or not you get a different color in that, I don't know. I don't think so. But again, it's not us saying that it's not a lens flare. It's just about the fact that the lens with the anti-reflective coating is able to pick up on something that's actually present within what's going on, that you would not be able to see otherwise. And that's the whole entire idea here. So just to be very clear on that.
Yeah. Well, it's showing right here in the center. You can see at the on the right side, you can see the clay color comes down from the top, goes straight through to the bottom. So it's burrowing a hole straight through this thing in order to do this. And like I said, it's like straight carbon.
Well, it's what I was telling you about that is that, there's an effect with clay that happens called sinting. And when clay sints, what it does is it basically closes off the porosity of it, but in doing so, it changes its properties. And when you have a stainless steel, high carbon stainless steel anode, and then you have the cathode pulling from the bottom of it and it's porous, you're going to create the carbon tunneling that's occurring because it's stripping that off of the anode. So it's using the arc as a carrier, stripping it off and then causing that channel, because it's literally pushing and sucking the carbon through the porosity in that area.
Yeah, you can even see the different coloring of it.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it deposited it on the cathode side, I thought was the most interesting part of it all.
Yeah. Well, you got to show everything, good, bad, or indifferent, no matter what people think of it. And this is what it comes out on the bottom part, right there. And like I said, it shreds as soon as you touch it. It crumbles to nothing. And I ran a magnet over it. Everything, nothing. There's no.
I mean, it looks like graphite, man. Like that's what it looks like to me.
That's crazy.
It's got that metallic sheen to it, and yeah, see, that's exactly what I was saying, Bob. Dead on, man.
That's what I think it was carbon. Yeah.
Yep. And that's what we discussed was that tunneling. Exactly. Yep. See? The village idiot knows a thing or two every so often.
Oh man.
Yeah, but and that's good because the way that it acts as like a semiconductor to the situation allows for the maintenance of a cathotic relationship once the water dries out for the most part.
Yeah, I wish I had a better picture of this. But
Is that one Sean nuked? Is that yours or Sean's?
That's mine.
That's yours, man. You nuked that thing.
Oh, I did. There's no question.
Yeah, Sean don't do that. I was gonna say. I was like, what?
No, Sean gets a little dot on there.
Yeah, he gets a dot. That's it. And it's like not even that black.
No, I was having fun. Oh. Yeah, Sean gets a little dot on his. No, but it's important to just, like I said, put it out there. What do we have here? We don't know. We're just looking at it, seeing what's going on. Camera effects, non-camera effects, what you can see in person. Yeah, I mean, all the color discharges are there no matter what. The little color dots there no matter what. All of it's coming out in different dimensions. It comes out at you left, right. We took the reflected surfaces and covered them with tape so that we couldn't get a reflection off stuff, and it still shows up. And then we got that little thing in there beading now. And also, when you put water in there, on the bottom, you put a lot, it spins the water when it starts. So you know it's getting that circular reaction. And then when Sean put that harp thing or whatever you called it on there, it showed the speed of everything. So
There are
that's
parts
awesome.
of this that we don't talk about
Thank
often.
you, Bob. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, there are parts of this that we don't bring up all too often. It's not a secret. It's just not something that's a major point of discussion.
Oh, hold on real quick. By the way, there were 2 cameras used in there. I used my cell phone camera and I used my Sony ZV-E10 as well. And you're still getting the same effect. And every time I change to a different camera, I still get the same effect.
And Sean gets the same effect too.
Yeah, out of his
Totally.
iPhone.
Yeah, and he's got right. I mean, for what it's worth, and for whoever needs to hear this, uh, Sean and myself and Nathan are, collaborating and, um, trying to kind of sync up on Saturday tomorrow, and maybe come up with the way forward, and the way forward being how the tests are going to be run and documented, and that way that there's some consistency and the results are, exactly what they are, for every single test that's run. And, I think that that's only going to really bring less kind of question to it. And I think that the one big thing, and it's just to bear in mind, is that, this is Nathan and Sean funding their own experimentation. Um, you know, I get off cheap, but yeah, yep, diamagnetic, yeah, that's definitely the case. We've seen plasma reactions with the water before and stuff. It's no different than the arc interacting with it. Um, but like I was saying, I think that coming up with the way forward, but you know, if there was funding and stuff, then all of a sudden you have lens filters where you could tell exactly what the situation is with what's causing it, right? Because as soon as you start to block out certain types of light and it goes away entirely, or if it goes away partially, or not at all, like you could start to tell exactly what it is that's inducing it. Then you could trace it back based on its geometry and what you found, deductive reasoning through different lens filters, right? So that's like one thing. The other thing's like, well, if you have 4 cameras, which nobody does at the moment, if you have 4 things looking at 3 angles of the RAV and 1 on instrumentation at all times, right? They're all running. You need tripods for each one of those things too, because having them all, moving around all the time, well, that's not helping anything either, right? So there's things that we've discussed, but again, it comes down to funding. Who's paying for this?
Oh, hold on. We got to show Bob the worm real quick.
Oh yeah.
That's something that's not normal.
Well, we did come up with the explanation on it, but yeah, definitely show the worm. That, and by the way, that is not a lens effect, and nor is that some material object. Just throwing that out there. I've done all the photo analysis on it exhaustively. Nope, there it was. Do you have mine where it replays it over and over, or are you just going to do it? Got to get the plasma flash, right?
Yeah, there it is right there on the bottom right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jumps out, jumps back in, jumps out and back into the same exact spot directly across from the satellite that's on it. And before it jumps out, it's got a purple plasma flash that I've captured in other footage. And that plasma flash was weird too. It was like a geometric plasma flash.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just sits there on the bottom right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. I mean, I had no idea what it was. That's why we were calling it the ghost worm. And Gerald was not the only person to say, I think it was just like a little filament or hair or something that was just in it and it was caught up in whatever was going on. But what I found was exactly this, that whenever you have a defect in your plasma, okay, meaning that it's like asymmetric in some kind of way, it creates an imbalance between the inner and the outer geometries, which creates an internal torsion of the plasma filaments, causing them to helical. And then in this case, the cause is actually exactly what it was, which is the satellite, right? So you have that satellite. That satellite in itself is the primary instability. So it has this primary instability. It's drawing it thicker on one side, thinner on the other. That's creating the torsion, the helical, right? It also creates it thinner directly opposite of it. That's where it jumps out, is directly opposite it, and then it jumps back in. Okay, and that is again they call that a kink defect.
Well, Bob said it right here. They come from the specific part of the MHD structure that where the containment fails.
Containment failed for the exact reason that I said. Containment failed because you have that satellite pulling like a tide on one side. So it has it thickening on the one side, thinning out on the other. That also creates an asymmetric internal field geometry that creates the filament helical, which is exactly what dumps out. But then the crazy shit is that it jumps back into the same exact spot. Right? I mean, it's not that it jumped out, it's that it jumped back in. You know? And we have other effects that I've documented in my analysis that are very similar to this. You know, I have globules of plasma jumping out and are like very energetically, but also and you know, the one part you didn't show though, man, and I don't know if you could find it, is the flash. The flash is so crazy because it's not like a normal thing. It's zoned out, it's specific to the one area, and it's like 3 fan blades that are like slightly like they're layered, sort of like that. You know, it's like the craziest thing. Yeah. You don't have my video?
I don't.
Want me to send it to you?
Hang on.
You got to show the flash, man.
Give me a second.
I could find it in 2 seconds on my phone and send it to you.
Just give me a second.
Okay. Oh, yep. There we go. I know my handiwork.
Yeah, it goes out and sucks right back in.
Out. It did. Oh, flash. There it is.
Hold
And
on,
then
Bob.
you get that parabolic flash, totally opposite of where it came out and went. Whoop.
Hold on, Bob, thank you very much for.
Yes, thank you, Bob. Yeah, but there's that flash. Neat stuff. Ghost worm. Yeah, I don't know why you weren't able to get that flash, man. Maybe because it was YouTube and the frame rate was changed or something. But yeah, like I think this is oh yeah. Well, we got the replication down, and good night, Bob. Yeah, we're gonna keep on working on it and figure out the path forward, and you know, make sure that the testing is kind of consistent and good. And I'm gonna be presenting on, or trying to present on, that show tonight. But again, it's pulling a name out of a hat. I don't love that. I feel like if there was courtesy involved in that, they would pull the names out of the hat at the start time and be like, "Here's who's presenting. Everybody else get lost,
Yeah.
or stay if you want to." You know.
Yeah,
And
I think. Hold on, real quick before we go on with that. I just want to say thank you to Bob, and Bob, if you ever want to come on the show and do the show with us and check things over, look it out, and give us ideas on things, we'd be more than happy to have you. And it'd be an honor to have you check this out with us. So,
absolutely would be.
so yeah, well, hopefully you get picked out of the hat, Joe.
I was watching the show from 2 weeks ago today just to see kind of what I was in for, and I mean, all I got to say was this: what we got going on, they ought to pick me out of the hat. They ought to, because I mean, some of the stuff that people are saying, I'm just sitting there like, oh my god. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome to finally we get to see him in there, see what we're doing.
Yeah, it's just cool, man. See all that stuff that comes out of there, see what's going on in there. You know, I think people make too much about the lens thing. It's what it's actually doing is what I care about. That's why some of the other tests are more important to me. It's fun to look at the pictures, but I want to see the circles, what the temperatures are, what the speed is, what the frequency is, what the amplification of that frequency is, because those are the things in the end that really matter. Because everybody does whatever with light and flares and camera effects, and to be honest with you, I just don't care. I care what it's doing on the inside, because that's going to tell me how it's going to build to the next thing. So
I agree, and I think that there's a couple different paths forward here. To be honest, probably stuff that will yield some similar but different results, like significantly different.
okay, well, hold on a minute. What did Gerald say when he shows ball lightning? So let's just check this out.
All right, check this out. Got my new MJE 13009 in. Gonna pulse it for the first time, only on the primary. Little battery. That's what's in that capacitor right now. Gonna pulse it with 1,000 hertz, 20% duty cycle square wave. Let's see what happens. I don't even know if I got it wired right. I think I do. All right, 3, 2, 1. Check that out. Ball lightning. Now that's interesting. So I had it on for 3 seconds. We're at 57 volts. Okay, let's train it. All right. See, capacitors, well, almost closed. Or empty. Let's see if we can get that happening again in 3, 2, 1. Interesting. Already at 45 volts.
All right, so give me a second and find the effect. There we go. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. He said that video was not what he meant. Well,
Yeah.
that's the
I
only
get
one
it.
that we have that says ball lightning on it.
I mean, I saw it. Well, I saw it flashing out blue and I get what he means by it could be scary. I mean, for what it's worth, and I'm not taking away from it, but because at all, but you have a positive negative, which is an anode cathode, in this case. So when you're running your circuitry to throw it into resonance and have, a reverse and equilibrium state in a vacuum, your gas excitation is going to compress in the center. And that's exactly what it's doing, which is exactly what it should be doing to create, a ball lightning effect, in that circumstance. Like with the frame that you're stuck on, I mean, I tend to agree. I mean, that's like precursor ball lightning. It's not ball lightning yet in that particular frame. Might have flashed out ball lightning a couple times.
Well, hold on.
But like I actually got that same exact state by using neon gas tubes in my Tesla coil configured 180 degrees out by pulling the center energy out and then inversing it with a scalar vector in the center. And then, like I was able to light up the gas in the tube turned to like jelly. Like I said, it looked like it was like you move it and it's like jiggling.
Okay, give me a second. Oh man, did it not take? I found another one. Let me see if this is better. There it is. Well, it's important to show this stuff because you say you got it, and this is what I've seen so far. This one is really bright. You see that one?
There it is. Got a nice little lens flare off of there, the whole line.
Oh yeah, well, definitely make the ball. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And definitely getting it bright.
Now, I mean, it's still drawing a connection from, both sides, but at the same time, what's the difference? The idea is the compression in the center.
Well,
that's the key to it.
It grew beyond the anode cathode. I'll tell you that right now.
It absolutely did. Absolutely did.
It's pressing against the sides of the glass. So, yeah, definitely got a cool effect. I'd love to see that much bigger. You know what I mean? Or like the camera, like directly on it, so we can get a great shot of it. But I don't doubt whatsoever he's got the spheres going on in there.
Listen, you're going to run into the same exact problems with getting photos of this thing that you're going to run into getting photos of the shit that's going on over here. Like, that's just sort of what it boils down to.
Yeah. It's cool, though.
It is.
Yeah,
Joe,
Joe,
you got to run the right circuit on that thing to make sure that it's gonna.
Oh, there's a lot more that goes into how.
Yep. There's a lot of circuitry that goes on to pop that thing off that way.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be fair, and Gerald says he's that wasn't what he was talking about. If you have another video, by all means put it up, and I will absolutely show it. To be fair, I mean get out exactly what you're talking about. So yeah, I don't want to seem like I'm doing anything nefarious here. I'm not.
Not at all.
You have on your channel that was it. But yeah, I'd like to see it real big, man. And the one thing I wanted to see on this video that I didn't get to see is when he does his heat gun, right? And he's looking at it and see what the temperatures are. Is you can't see the actual screen of it. So if you could just pull back that camera and get that shot, you know what I mean? It sucks to get sometimes get the light of those stupid things. If you can get that shot, it'd be great because we can't see it.
This is where that one on your experiment, one on your monitor that you're running comes in. It's where that comes in. Have everything set. You're not touching any of it. You hit record. You back up. You light it up. You do it. And then when you save the file, then you just edit out the time lapse in between you hitting play and starting the experiment. That's it. Like, it's nothing complicated in today's technology. This is easy, no excuse stuff.
Yeah, no, you can use
no excuse stuff.
So I have my webcam here. I can actually use it to do all the video shots of like the oscilloscope and stuff. So I can, yeah, that's not a problem. I have my GoPro 11, which I'll put it on here. The only thing is light in the dark really sucks. So in the daylight, you can see a little bit of this stuff. And by the way, that reflection, whatever you want to call it, shows up in the daytime as well. When all the lights are on, it still shows up. It doesn't just show up in the dark.
Yeah.
So,
Again, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face because I've said it from day one. I said it when Bob was in here earlier. Nobody here is saying that this is not a lens effect. What we are saying is that the fact that it's picking up in the way that it does on the lens is showing you more to what's there.
yeah.
Okay. And that's the objective measure, right? You wouldn't be able to see what it's showing otherwise. And that's just the mechanism that it's being picked up is by virtue of the lens itself and its anti-reflective coating, okay, which is preventing it from getting blown out entirely and ruining the entire exposure. And instead,
Well,
it's
hold
allowing
on.
you to see the geometries.
What ruins the whole lens effect argument right in the tracks is the temperature one.
It does, yeah. I mean,
As soon as you say you saw the temperatures and it built out in the concentric circles, you can take all that lens stuff, wad it up in your hand, wipe your ass with it, and throw it away. Okay, because
Yeah.
it doesn't make a damn bit of difference when you have the temperatures built out the way they do, because it's telling the story better than any lens ever could.
no, I agree with you there. And I don't draw conclusions off of one factor personally, and I haven't drawn any conclusions at all. It's all just still a work in progress here.
Yeah. So
We can see what's going on in some regards, and others, not so much. But
yeah,
I think
Joe
kind of,
said. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think what it kind of boils down to is that when you have multiple different observations across many different areas of it, and all of them coincide with the same exact phenomena and theories that we're talking about that are coincide, like it's all these different things together that are the sum of the equal. It has nothing to do with just one factor. And like no conclusions are being drawn based off of one factor.
Oh yeah, yeah. No. Joe says he got his camera back from his daughter, so take a video of the temperature differential. Dude, that's what we all want to see. Like, cause he's got it through his coil, and he shows the rod that's there, right? And he's showing you the temperatures and stuff going on. We're just not able to see the camera when it looks at it. So yeah, if you can get a better picture of that. And Gerald, by the way, I'll throw the same offer to you. You're always welcome on the channel anything you want, man. If you want to come on and show it, you're welcome to come on, man. Anytime you want, and laugh it out, man. Have a good time with us and show us everything.
Right on.
So yeah, I got to get a hold of Ben, man. I saw him yesterday. He was doing his live. It wasn't on very long, which kind of sucked. It was like a few minutes. He was still going back to science stuff, so it was really cool. So
We used to have fun, man. I remember I used to be like at Walmart and shit and be watching the show, and then Gerald was on, Ben was on. I'd just be like, yo, I can't listen. I was like, I can't listen to this nonsense anymore. Well, just send me a link, Nathan. Just hop in there and be like, yeah. Well, what's that? All right, I got to put my dime in the bag.
yeah.
Here, so.
Well, dude, yeah. Right on, Gerald. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Yeah, I miss Ben's laugh, bro.
Memories like the corners of my mind.
Oh,
If you ever get an unwanted erection, all you got to do is think about Barbara Streisand. It goes away.
oh, don't you do that to me. Oh. Barbara Streisand. Just turn on the view and it automatically goes limp.
Oh, oh my God. I want to turn it inside out, buddy.
That is, if you're a man and you watch that show, I'm sorry, but you got no hope. Oh, dude. Oh, speaking of Ben, we got to do this, dude, because you know what? I'm just gonna have to do it every time now. Let me find it. Oh, come on now. I jumped up disco band the other night. I was reminded of this. Laugh my butt off, dude. Oh, it's so great.
For real.
I love that move. Right there. Oh. Guys rocking it out.
Oh boy.
Oh. Gotta love Ben. Oh, dude, that was the best though. When he just looks to the side, like, oh. That's, yeah. Oh, it cracks me
Great.
up. Yeah. Yeah, we got to get that as a little button you can push. You know what I mean? On the side, so that it just boom shows up on the screen. Oh yeah. I got to program that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, it's I think what's cool though is that, again, and I know I said it earlier, but I think it's worth saying again. Some of the stuff that we're seeing right here with this RAV testing, whether it's Nathan's or Sean's, when you start to actually take it and put it together, and then you look at the stuff that I presented on Wednesday, and realize that's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah.
It's exactly what's going on here, and it's like once you have that reverse feed, from the inside to the out in both directions, then that's it. You have your that system requires nothing more than what it is to run. I mean, obviously, right now it's dependent on at least the anode, but probably the cathode too. Which is why the carbon is playing such a major role, especially in yours. But that's why the way forward needs to explore that, and be able to tackle these things and understand what having more than one does versus growing it, or growing it and more than one, and what, these are the questions that sort of have to be answered. And, realistically, I think that the way forward also depends on what you're looking at it for. I mean, I think that it's one of those things that's capable of whatever you want it to do, but you need to be able to build it and, to get the result that you want. Configure it the way to get the result that you want. Sort of the way. So, you want time dilation, that's one thing. If you want energy, it's another. If you want, to affect the environment around you, or other way around, and have the environment around you not affect it, right? AKA breaking locality. That's another conversation. Although you'll get the time dilation. See what I mean? It's all connected, but it's like, what are you going to put forward as your use? You need to configure it that way.
Yep. Well, pretty soon, man, everybody will find out. I mean, it's only a matter of time. It's all, I keep saying it's all connected, but it's all the same thing. It's the same reaction. It's just different ways to put it out. That's it.
Well, then there's the question: can you store it in a crystal?
I don't know that I need to, but sure.
I heard that come up. In fact, one of the places that I pulled that from was Dead Fish's documentary that he did. Yeah, he did that. They were talking about. In fact, it was Bob Grenier that said it. It's funny. He was on here earlier. That basically you take that, if you create it and then bring it inside of a crystal, that there's a potential to hold it inside of that crystal form, and then it just exists in there. It falls into resonance with the piezoelectric of it, and then it could actually sustain.
I don't know that you need to pull it in. You just have to build it inside the crystal. Like,
Yeah.
but not with an anode and cathode. That's not how you do it.
I don't know what you do, but worth exploring.
It's it works almost like an ultrasound pulse. That's what
Yeah.
you need.
Well, and that's the big other question is what happens when you start introducing other, you know, other energetic properties into this when you start layering it up.
Yeah, I don't think people understand that one either. Ultrasonic pulses work against the magnetic field itself.
Mm.
It literally, when you create those null zones and energy zones, you push that with that piezo buzzer will push it. That's what it does. It creates an ultrasound burst that'll push onto it, and that makes compression inside of it, and it'll start messing with the crystal structure itself and turning it on and off. So, but when you hit the right frequency, the thing jumps all around like crazy and starts lighting up. But when you don't, it doesn't do anything. So it's more or less connected to the amplification of the resonance. That's what it really is. So take it for what you will. We'll find that out here sooner or later in one of the tests, and I'll show you, and I'll be right again.
We'll get there. And I have a handful of pieces of quartz ready to rock and roll.
See, that's the thing. It's not. I don't think people get it right. Resonance is not vibration in that way. It's resonating the atoms itself. It's vibrating the atoms at their level. It's
Mhm.
not resonance as in the vibrator in your mom's top dresser drawer.
No,
It's
I
not
get it.
the same thing. It's the atoms that you're messing with.
Mhm.
That's why it's so important.
I get it.
Yeah, there's a big difference when you go to it. That's why when people say things are just vibrating, well, that's a real misunderstanding of what the term actually means.
At what level is it vibrating? It's not vibrating to shake your table. It's vibrating to shake the smallest structures because that's the size scale that it's working at. The dimensionality and the size scale that it's working at is, at a molecular or atomic level. Sort of what it boils down to.
Yeah, he says that's a joke. Nice. No, I mean it has to be made. The point has to be made, so you have to understand it that way. If you start thinking it's, you know what I mean, some vibrating thing, you're way off. It it goes to how you get into between each one of the atoms it builds together. The other thing in these RAVs that are missing is an outside shell, and you basically the atoms build out this way. That's why I was showing the
Right.
separation in zones.
All right. I'm gonna be like that's very nuanced, and I don't disagree with it. I mean, society saying electrical resonance, mechanical resonance are two different things.
They are.
Well, yes, they are. No, they aren't. They're two different scales. They really aren't different, but they're two different scales. And because the scale is so much different, it's sort of like saying that it, dropping like something on your floor, is the same as an earthquake. It's not, right? It's just sort of how it goes. Like it behaves differently because of the mediums. Okay, but that's it. That's sort of the reality of it. Like energy is energy, and transmission is transmission. And resistance is resistance. And you see, all these things are actually they're not analogs; they are the same. But again, at different scales, affecting different things. You can't sit there and take a pocket rocket from your unsatisfied wife's drawer and expect to entice anything other than maybe her.
Yeah.
That's about the scale that's working on. But yeah, it's like when you start upping the ante on that, and then having you know transmission abilities like through transducers and such, and higher oscillation, that would perceivably be even possibly still, as far as you're concerned, observationally, right, is going to have mass effect on the molecular level, but it is in fact the same. It's just Just doing it, you know, it's like working on a different level. It's working on a different scale. That's it. And trust me, if she put one of those up to her, who I ain't gonna do nothing for her. Give her a little warmth. That's about it. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
full blown manual proposition.
Society, if you got the pictures of lasers, and by all means a definition of what's going on, because I put those videos up and everybody always asks me what's going on there, and I still have no clue. But yeah, if you got more laser videos, send them over.
Yeah, those laser videos are really cool. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't either. Like I'll open my email real quick.
I
so
mean,
people
because
can-
the reason I don't know why it's what's going on there is that like, is it just the laser being typically modulated through like known filter effect sort of deal, or are we looking at something different? We don't have enough information to tell what's going on, but it looks really cool. I'll tell you that.
they're 4D hysteresis loops.
All right, cool. Which is, you know, and that's interesting to say that because you could really display multidimensionality with lasers just by the density interactions that they create. Yep, neat.
So I'll pull up one of his old lasers real quick so we see what we're looking at.
It's really cool stuff, man. I had no idea what I was looking at.
Yeah, look at that.
Man, between me and Nathan being sick today, we're just like two duds.
Yeah.
we're like two duds doing this show today, man.
That is really cool though.
That really is.
Yeah, if you got more, man, send them over. I like those things.
Yeah.
So
I like the longer that blows out too, you know, I would assume that you'd be able to see that there's like a repeating pattern between like the amplitude, so to speak, of what's being shown, you know. And what's interesting about that is that's how helical things operate. Steve, we think of them as just like, you know, continuously spinning symmetrically around each other, but there's certain asymmetries that exist that lead to what would appear to be like higher levels of pulsation, higher, and it's just depending on the wavelength interactions and their mutual relationship.
But by the way, here's what I don't think people really picked up on. Do you guys really understand like what I'm doing when I build stuff? I build a Tesla coil, right? And I'm wrapping wire around the cylinder. I turn around, okay, and I built my other Tesla coil, which is wrapping multiple layers of wire around a, a U-tron shape. Okay, it's still the same thing. Okay, I use a AC flyback, which is multiple layers of wire around a cylinder, continuously going again. I use a DC flyback that does the exact same thing, but then it has little sheets on the outside to make like a little effect going onto it, right? I literally use the same ZBS. I'm literally using the same cap bank, okay? I'm just changing the exact anode and cathode configuration of all of it, and I'm pulling different effects out of different items in different ways throughout my entire channel, okay? And then I'm laughing because I take the same cap banks and I go over to my rodent coil and I tune it from one side to the next to put it in resonance with each side in order to get effects out of it. I go to my geometry coil, I use the same cap banks, I'll use the same ZBS, I'll do the same exact thing. So when I tell you everything's everything, I'm literally telling you I'm using the same exact shit to pull off every single effect you'll ever find. I don't need to change it one bit. I'm just know what the hell I'm doing with it. That's it. That's the only difference.
You know what's actually laughable because it seems very complicated, but when you understand that energy vectoring, okay, in other words, what energy can do to manifest in a state of electromagnetism, okay, which
Yeah.
is right, it is wildly finite. there's only so many things that you can do. Basically, we work between throwing current states through different mediums to act as either more or less resistance to create different modulations. Okay. And then in other cases, what we'll do is we'll use magnetic vectoring, you know, to basically create a secondary, like what do you call it? Like a transistor, not a transistor. How come I'm being literally retarded right now? My head being so stuffed is messing with me. To change the voltage out, like from one to the next, that this is like really kind of it, because either like in a current state or not, and then you run into like the insanely rare, doesn't really exist circumstance of transformer. Yeah, thank you. My head cold is like literally messing with me, like in my brain. Um, and right, or you try to store some energy, which works exactly on the same principles, except just with a different material that's has different attributes. And remember that there's only so many different types of materials that have electromagnetic attributes. So it's just the combination of these things, and then the proportions of them that are deterministic of all the circuitry that exists. Because there's only so many things that you can meaningfully do with a conductor. And everything that we do is basically with what are you doing with the conductor? Where is it going next? What's the path that it's taking? The path is the vectoring. The vectoring is the electromagnetic manifest at that certain area. But then you could always bring it out of a magnetic state and put it back into a current state, you see? But then it had the effect of that magnetic field that you created, and the whole entire time, because we're using conductors and for like we're just basically moving it through next thing, it's suffering greatly from loss the entire time. Suffering greatly from loss the entire time.
Sometimes it is, yeah. You're absolutely
right. A lot of times it is. Like that's where all your losses come from, is all that modulation just to make simple processes occur. But is what it is.
It literally is, man. It's ridiculous in the fact that it's all the same thing. We're not changing much, and you get different effects out of it. That's why I tell you, like, if you think an atom's different than your plasmoid, which is different than your ball lightning, I got news for you. It's all created in the same way. It's just a simple difference in maybe geometry and then how one thing's amplified over another.
Okay, let me ask you a stupid question, right? Because this is obvious. But all these hyper thin wires that they use, right? Why do they not use a single stranded core of the same diameter rather than all of those strands? Because they twist the strands. They have multiple wires that have multiple conductive surfaces that twist the strands. Well, what does that do? Well, that creates a magnetism within the current line. Okay, it's not coiled, so it's not a full-blown magnetic field like a toroidal magnetic field. What it's doing is it's creating magnetism on the outside that actually holds it in, that actually reduces the amount of loss.
It lowers the magnetism by creating compression, which allows for the dielectric to be the main source of energy in a power.
Okay, we said it a little differently. I was attributing the magnetism to the compression.
No. That's where everybody goes wrong. I think the magnetism is everything. It's not. It is not.
When you start twisting shit together, though, that's sort of what you end up getting.
No, but that's what you're misunderstanding. It reduces the magnetism and gives you a higher dielectric.
Higher dielectric. Okay, that's fair.
But what I'm saying is the levels change. That's why when everybody says it's magnetism, you think, oh my God, the magnetism to the roof. No. The magnetism lowers while the dielectric raises, and it pulls out the radiant form of everything. So it pulls out the distance between the two power lines. And that's what's giving you the energy. It's right there between the two the whole time. That's where the energy is stored. It's not stored in the lines itself.
No,
the people misunderstand that.
There's no storage in lines.
It's in that dielectric that goes between them. And what's his name? Dollard said that all the time. It's not in the power lines. It's in the dielectric. That's what the energy is. That's why the rodent coil is in the dielectric. That's why it has such open gaps in it everywhere, because the energy is in the dielectric. It's not all magnetism, it's all dielectric. People, it's such a misunderstanding of energy because we're all on this Faraday thing, and they got that ram so far up their butt they can't see the difference. That it's not all magnetism, it's all dielectric. Even magnetism's wrong in the way it comes out. It's the dielectric, when you put two magnets together, that sucks in and creates a node in the center of it. I'm sorry, it's not pulling or pushing it apart. It's creating a node in the center, and it's the dielectric that sucks in. That's
Well,
a
I mean,
fact.
I don't disagree with that at all. But it's okay. But I think that even the point I was making, and maybe this is super nitpicky nuance, but it's that rotational vector that allows for that to occur, which externally would be considered a weak form of magnetism. Okay, which then internally would create that dielectric force, which is exactly the point, by the way. But again, that's why it's super nitpicky nuanced. Like you're not wrong, and I don't know that I am either. I'm open to saying wrong, but
it's the same reason you can't go outside and throw a magnet up and let it hang in the air, because you're not in the magnetic state, you're in the dielectric state.
Well, yeah, we all are. We're literally inside of Earth's magnetic field, not outside.
We're in a null zone, is what we're in. But
well, you get what we're in the inner geometries of a magnetic field. We are not only.
But this is what I'm saying. It's where people don't understand it. They keep saying that magnetism is everything. If magnetism was everything, I could take my hand and put it outside, and I can get a car to come to me. Okay, I can literally be Magneto. Okay, that's what you're saying to me, and I'm telling you, you're full of shit.
Well, hold on.
Because it's the dielectric out there.
Actually, I've been, for what it's worth, I've been super consistent on this. Which I've said it is and it isn't. Which we did a whole episode on it, and you said, "Well, what do you think, Joe? Is magnetism everything?" I was like, "Well, that's a loaded question, isn't?" Because it kind of is and isn't at the same exact time, and I explained that reasoning. And it actually is like the same exact reasoning that I'm bringing to the table here. I don't think everything's magnetism. I think that what you have on the other side of magnetism, okay, is just as, if not more so important, okay, but also really, like anything, energy that's in a manifest state, right? Not a non-potential state. It can only come out as one of a couple of things, which is what we just said, right? And that's sort of why. Now, those things, they come with byproducts, okay? Like a plasma state is not an energetic state. That is a byproduct of an energy transfer and with the environmental interaction, etc. There's all these things, right? That's not an energetic state. There's no, you get it? Like, so there's things that happen around this that, and some of them are directly related to energy, like a dielectric effect.
So,
but
let me see if I can say this. Here's the effects that you have to deal with in energy all the time. Okay, if you want to create anything in a system, okay, you're going to have the dielectric, you're going to have the magnetic, you're going to have the temperature, you're going to have the frequency, you're going to have the resonance, okay? All of them must work in coherence, okay? You also have to have the radiant effect, okay? If you could take all those things, you understand energy, okay? In every single form that it's in. That's it. Those are the scaling vectors you need for everything. It's which amount of amplitude you put on each one, okay? And then the amplitude of the resonance will absolutely produce energy.
You and I couldn't agree more. Yeah, we couldn't agree more on that, man. That's it.
Yeah, so just so you understand, that one little portion, the amplification of resonance is your 0 point. If you have it, you have over unity everywhere.
So that not only do I know that, but I believe that, and I stand by it. It's exactly what we were talking about Wednesday when we looked at all those diagrams that I made. Because once you look at all of the different energy vectoring that goes on in those field geometries, you realize what mode that they're in at any given time. Then you realize how they're layered, and you understand how they're thrown into equilibrium. And the crazy thing about it, okay, is that not only does it break no laws as far as like what can or can't happen, it actually proves it out as to exactly how to transition from one to the next and have it fall into an equilibrium state. And
Yeah.
it's important to understand again that those aren't equilibrium does not mean equal portion. Equilibrium means equal in terms of its interaction with the other components in its environment, which is offset ratios. And those offset ratios in the diagrams that I showed are directly defined by the relationship of the numbers in which they're correlated. So again, that is a map, is what it is, you know. And once you map it out, you understand the relationship between the numbers, the relationship of the vectors and everything's doing, then you get exactly what the proportions of all of these modes of electromagnetism you need in order to have a stable system. Now,
Yeah.
most times, if you actually already have most of this in an equilibrium state, it'll actually get rid of the excess, you know, of certain modes. And that's the nature of it building up. That's why it just doesn't turn on and go, whoop, there it is, right? Immediately. No, it takes a second to get itself together. It's figuring those ratios out when you have the conditions proper and the amounts of everything proper in your initial configuration. And everything else from there just kind of falls into place because that's what it wants to do.
Yeah.
It wants order. You know, everything is looking to find it's you know it's like least having to work state. You know, it's least energetic state or whatever, right? Everything wants to go back to a state of rest. Well, it does that by associating and falling into flow patterns that, you know, it's like lazy river, right? You sit on the tube and it just brings you around. Well, that's in that context, in that environment, that's the easiest state it could be in because anything else is turbulent. It's
Well,
trying to interact with something that it's not.
it's why the eye of the storm is the calmest. All the energy's there. Yeah, it's not in the winds and everything else you think it is. It's in the eye of the storm.
Well, the feed of it's theirs because that's the low pressure. That's where the low pressure is dumping in to keep the high pressure going. And again, that comes down to separating your differentials. So again, like my theory says, which I, you know, God willing, I'll get to read tonight, says that the best chance you have at creating an equilibrium system is by separating your differentials based on the initial configuration. And if you do that at the forefront and you're able to keep them separate, where one's feeding the other, but in proportion, not freely, well, then you get what you see.
This, let me say this RAV in hertz, it's right around a couple hundred hertz or something like that. When it finds its zone, get ready for a head trip. Get ready for your mind to change. So you decide which frequency you like. I'm just telling you, once it gets down to the hertz level and it's incoherence like this, get ready for it because your brain is going to be scrambled.
Might
So at
literally
least for a
be.
little while.
Might literally be.
Yeah, it might be a good thing, might be a bad thing, but if you start barking and clucking like a chicken, you got something going on in there.
Well, I mean, if when you have a major, like I don't even know. I think I need to think about that before I do so now. Just saying. If you get real low with that, it's something else. The only thing that makes me feel like there could be a maintenance of stability is the fact that if you're able to get it that low and you have that much stability in the first place, that the locality situation is definitely like it's been since broken, it's been since broken. So your environmental interaction is pretty limited in the first place, because if you started to approach like very, very low, like Schumann's resonance type numbers or something, like you'd be dealing with a major fucking circumstance on your hands. Like
Oh, yeah.
like a major, major circumstance on your hands. Like it'd be a very not. I'm playing it out in my head. That's not a good thing, because you have now it's falling into resonance with this, and that's not good. That's not good. White
That-
hole time.
That's why in your geometry coils, you have to build out certain patterns in it so that you can get certain frequencies out of it.
Yep.
So, oh man, love it. That's why it was so funny when you're mentioning how it goes into the corner the other day and comes out of the corner, how that's so important what it does. In geometry coils, it's the same thing. It has to do that. And then there's certain times where you have to bend it around and then do it for the same exact reason.
For the same exact reason. Yep. They knew it all along, man. Like these people were not foolish. You know, and
Yeah, some of this stuff is not possible, by the way. Not the way the coils are built. If you only pulse the anode, you can't. They're tied together. They can't separate them.
I mean, you could by running two
separate, but then they don't connect together.
Well,
they don't spark together that way.
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird shit out there like that you can do when you're dealing with multi-input systems. Like multi-input systems are fucking ridiculous. And we're about to find out, because we want to know what it's like to have more than one. We already know that we need more
Why
than one.
do you think I'm using my ZVSs still? Because in that unit that I said, and I can open it up, it absolutely is the same driving system, same everything, okay? I can't get two separate systems out of it. Sean won't have any more luck than I do, okay? In order to create the two RAVs the way it's supposed to be done, it has to be two separate systems.
See, the thing, okay, so it's like my chart was kind of saying, right, that when everything falls into that perfect thing, right, where that Ankh is key, because it's 180 degrees out of phase, but it's also in resonance, what it ends up doing when it recycles out is when it rejoins, every waveform that's here is inversely filling in all that spot. So what you end up with is like a much tighter frequency that it's riding along with, because it's also then symmetrically. So it's inverse but half. So it ends up as a very strong pulse, but it's also continuous because it's always there. So it builds in all the right. It ends up beat frequency, but at the same time, a really, really tight beat frequency, because it's almost always hitting a nodal point. Boom, 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 one after the next.
Just so we understand this, there's a way to do it. You have to do high voltage bleeding in order to get the anode to pulse at the same rate, okay, as the other one, to make it perfect. You don't have to tune each system the right way. It's not that.
Well, you actually have a differential that is existing, though.
Yeah, but just let me get through this, because it's a very specific way you have to do this. You have to take one of the sides and put it on a little bar where it bleeds to the neck, so the frequencies themselves mesh together, become the same frequency in resonance together, then split from there to each anode. Okay, so they're exactly 100% the same frequency. The negatives must be done the same way. If they don't bleed to one another, they don't create the effect of an antenna to one another, you will not get them in resonance the way you want them, okay? And mechanically, it has to be done like this, okay? Then they have an interaction point because now they're the same. Now they can connect. You can't just take one and start it, and then hope and pray they're going to go to each other. It just won't work.
Well, the frequency, I'm right, that, but like when it comes to like, again, like there being a differential offset, you have the anode that's super concentrated, right? That's just pure arc energy that you're inducing to, a damp spot. That's how you're getting it to hit that spot, or the carbon in your case, because the carbon's there. Like, doesn't really matter. Like, you get it. It's pure coming from a tip, whereas you have the cathode that's diffuse and has a much higher capacitance value, though, because of the water and everything that it's in. So what ends up happening is that you have this diffuse cathodic energy that's in also holding capacitance that's coming up to it, and then you have this fucking laser beam of anode arc happening, and that in itself is a regulating force, like, because the draw is going to be controlled by the anode at that point, as to what it's bringing in from the cathode because of the diffusion. You have a stronger force against a weaker force at that point. They're being withheld from each other. I don't know. It's just a train of thought. Like, I'm not saying that there's anything definitive there, but it does, in my opinion, it's just one more differential, focused versus diffuse. Capacitance, high capacitance versus low capacitance. Two more differentials, right? And they're there to pull each other into equilibrium. If they're from the same source, realistically, they should probably fall into the same resonance eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Maybe. You would think, but that doesn't always work that way. The anode and cathode come out exactly the same out of the AC flyback. It's what you put them through is what caused the difference in everything. That's why when they start, they're at 50 hertz, kilohertz, and then when they get going, they're at 90 something kilohertz, because the bottom itself has to remake itself to build out to be the same as the top, so they mirror each other in resonance.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it doesn't work. So just an anode and a cathode and a spark gap wouldn't do this.
Yeah, which is again, it's because of the separation of the differentials and the fact that they are kept separate for the most part, like, except for the controlled interaction. That is the theory here. That is the magic. That is the theory.
Society's funny. Well, Dollar doesn't like Bedini because, I hate to tell you guys this, but Dollar is a by the book, non-fringe, 100% that guy. Okay, when it comes to electrical engineering, that's who he is. So if you told him you can run an NPN backwards, he'd tell you you're full of shit. You can put it right in front of him and still tell you you're full of shit. Okay, and that's who Dollar is, and that's never going to change. And I'll tell you why I know that. When he went over the Integratron, he choked the Tesla coil that was in there. And he said, "Oh, it gives you all the same effects." No. When you have an unchoked Tesla coil, it resonates with everything around it. What do you think they were trying to do there? Okay? Just understand this. When you choke it, now it doesn't resonate with everything. It's the difference between my ZVS Tesla coil and my Slayer Exciter. My Slayer Exciter pulls you into the field and starts screwing with your body. When you're in the ZVS field, you can stand there all day long and not care a bit. Okay? That's what he did to it. And he ruined it. I'm sorry. I like the guy, but he ruined it. And I will just rip everything that he did out and start over, because it ruined the effect of what they were trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So we got a laser video, Joe. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, that's why I follow the train of thought of accept when you're wrong, but subscribe to nothing too hard. And like, see what's going on, look at the effects, draw your conclusions. Like if you're intelligent, that's what I feel like you do. It's like you can draw conclusions. And what you find a lot of times is that somebody's already said that. And that's cool. Like self discovery is a thing and doesn't make it any less of a discovery. But what it does make it is objective to your observation, as opposed to just because you learned and believed that was a law. Because like belief in that, is that's tough. Correlation to other people's work and what they've said is good and important. Also, if it's disproving what you're seeing and showing too, it's just as important. The point is that when you're just constantly looking at what's already known to find what's not, when did that ever work?
Well,
When did that ever work?
let me tell you another thing he did. He did the Colorado experiment and created this little thing for grounding. He put a little coil inside of a vacuum chamber, okay, and uses it for grounding. What's the problem with that? The Colorado experiment is based on getting to the water table and putting the rod down to the center and kneeling that water table. As soon as you created that little thing to do grounding, instead of putting the thing into the water table, you might as well throw that whole experiment away. It's worthless.
Mhm.
I've proven it on my channel 100 times over, man. It is completely worthless without that. The Colorado experiment was meant to be in the water table.
Yeah, but right once you realize that the ground state is mostly where it comes from,
Yeah.
or can come from, when you create it properly, it's just the push and pull effect. It's the lightning rod tendrils
Yeah.
that pull from the earth.
Look, I'm not knocking the guy. I think he's a great electrical engineer. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying when you take things out of the process and you put it in with your own, you don't find the right effect. And he most clearly did not find the right effect because his coil, no matter what he does, cannot light it up 20 miles away. He wouldn't even get close. So don't get me wrong, RF travels a long way, but not putting a light bulb into the ground when the way the effect is meant to be done. Gotta hit the water table. So anyway, that's just my opinion on it. I want to show the laser video that Society sent.
Hey, stupid question to sit there and lose your mind over. With
Okay, what's that?
lightning, does the lightning pull the tendrils out of the ground, or do the tendrils pull the lightning out of the sky? And realistically, the answer is, in my opinion, probably both. You have a charge state that pulls tendrils out of the ground, as a potential, because the charge state is just there. So it starts attracting to it. And then as soon as that starts pulling up, well, bang, there you go. Now it's connected. But which does which? Maybe the tendrils pull the lightning right out of the clouds.
Maybe. Who knows?
Sure. Why not? All right, lasers.
I think there's a continuous charge state in the ground, and then every once in a while, when the upper atmosphere amplifies heavy enough, it seeks out anything by opening the dielectric to a shorter span, like an anode and cathode, and then it just sparks off every once in a while when it finds a zone it can hit.
Which is, by the way, exactly how the entire theory of RAV was formed, was based off of that one correlation.
Yeah.
That's
Really
once I realized that, I was like, oh, we know how this works now. That's it.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got. No, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Man, look at the geometries in this. Hold on. Look at that. It's like almost perfect square.
Well, yeah, it depends on what angle you look at it from. Absolutely.
Look at that. Tunnel. Perfect tunnel.
Two tunnels collapsing. Square.
That one's like a cube.
Well, it's in a cubic formation. That's whatever lattice it's kind of forming to is a cube lattice. It's just an upper dimensional cube lattice. You're only seeing one dimension of, or 3 dimensions of. Seeing it through densities. But that's a 4-dimensional motion. Is the point? See how it's inside and out simultaneously?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So when that moves in and out of our direction, what is it doing? In and out of our dimension, what is it doing? It's pulsing. See what I'm saying about Rav? It's right here.
Oh, everything in pulse, yeah. Well, nothing works straight up with just straight amplification. Doesn't work. Everything
Oh,
needs
as it
a
moves
pulse.
in and out, it pulses. Because only certain sizes, like only certain geometries of it are present in our dimensional space.
Yeah, everything's got a pulse. DC pulse. Really what you need for everything. Man, that's cool. Sorry, I'll play it. Leave it alone.
I don't know. I don't really believe it. I think it's just a lens effect.
It's like the laser has to go through something to see this.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is how it's being modulated like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's obviously going through some kind of something's happening.
It's like when you put your laser through your lava lamp and you get a reflection on the opposite side of it. That's what it reminds me of. Like a disco ball.
I mean, if you know anything about lasers and water and ice, man, you'd be blown away because of all the holographic principles that exist within water and ice. It's actually really, really insane. Like really, really, like that's when you start to realize that water does hold information, like good and bad.
It says he was looking at resonance and materials, but found out how to turn 2D sine waves into 4D. Yeah, you definitely did that.
Very cool.
Yeah, you take it up to 60 and 8D easily. Man, that's cool.
So, I mean, more or less, so you're folding it. Is what you're doing then at that point, I would assume.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's cool, yeah.
I dig, right up our alley.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah, I'd love to see the 8D images as well, yeah. Oh, make the shape like Sheila's. I found out how that was done. There's a whole community that's into this stuff. And they take old oscilloscopes, the old analog ones, and they're able to do it and put in the application of the resonance in order to get it. That's why she was so heavy on that word. It's the ratio of the amplification that she was talking about. So if I can find a cheap one, I'll buy it. But I've been spending a lot of money on this RAV stuff. So when I get it, I will. As I sell some more Tesla coils.
Yeah. Well, maybe I could do this show tonight. See how that goes, God willing, and then when we collaborate together tomorrow, maybe there'll be a topic of discussion to be had. It'd be really cool to get you guys some funding on this stuff.
Yeah, funding or no funding, man, we're gonna move forward and get
it's gonna move forward, but try certain things make things nice, like being able to, proceed without hesitation.
No, I understand. Sometimes it's just good. How do I say this? Sometimes it's good to have the cash. Sometimes it's good not to. Makes you think harder.
Yeah, and a lot of times if somebody's willing to fund something, it's because if it's because they want their name on it, you know, as a creditor, fine. But if they want a piece of it,
Well, Sean already signed this thing up open source, man. There's nothing anybody can.
that's
cut
exactly
off.
it. It's always supposed to be open source.
So, yeah, there's no getting around that.
Not at all.
So, yeah, he already did something. He sent me a letter on it and everything.
Yep.
Let me know.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. You know, that's
Yeah, we may have to change that time tomorrow or something, dude. I don't know if it's gonna work out.
all right. Well,
on
if
my
it
end.
doesn't, I'm around. You know, we could always reconvene.
No, that's fine. Yeah, we got to get together this thing and put a whole presentation together because it's kind of like everywhere right now. And
Yeah. That it is.
that's all right. I'm almost there. There was Sean trying to. I sent in to buy the same. How do I say this? So this right here. Let me see it. That right there changes from 110 to 220. Okay. It's just a big transformer, but it's not the same one Sean uses. So in order to replicate his stuff, I have to buy the same one he did.
Oh, you didn't buy it from his link that he sent us repeatedly?
I bought the power source. You know what I mean? But then we're doing replication, so now I got to go and buy the same one he does. Okay, so mine will work just fine. It's not what he has. So I bought everything else the same way he has it, and then we'll have to get all the dishes together and do that. And you know what I mean? Since all the anodes are the same, and he got me, by the way, a cool thing. He sent me one of those little helping hands like he's got, dude. It makes my little junky stuff that I was over there messing with, MacGyvering to make work. It makes it sad. Like it's so much faster.
What is it? I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, it's those little clips, and they're attached to this little bendy arm that attaches right down to a steel plate. Okay,
I got
and it magnetizes the steel plate, and then you can move these things wherever you want. So now, when I want to put the cathode, the anode straight down, it goes straight down. And then I built a couple of high voltage clips that have real heavy insulation coming off them so that it doesn't bleed out. I built a couple of those to work with it. So we're almost to the same setup. We're getting real close where I can just pull off the verification on it. And then we'll have our whole paper. Because some of the things is if you didn't do it the way I did it the other way, there's a lot of things that are going to be ruled right out. A lot of thoughts that can happen that we had to rule right out. So,
well, the ultimate test, and probably the only other thing that's needed aside from verification, proper testing for the paper is, you know, and this is the thing that's going to break the speculation, is being able to resonantly pick up the pulsing. So as soon as you can pick it up and get a reading on it, and then you toy with that to get your numbers where you want them and need them to be, then that's the result. You know, because other than that, like, you know, you could show all sorts of awesome phenomena, show what it's doing, show, you know, and it's all cool stuff, but showing how, you know, showing it in practical use, you know, that is, even if it's not picking up more than you're putting in, that's actually probably the better result because it's more easy for otherwise naysayers to tolerate. See, you know, like there's such thing as you know, stepping it up. You come out with the theory, you show the work, you show exactly what it's doing, prove it out. It's all able to be replicated, but then you have the final measure being what you could pick up off the thing, and then, you know, no matter what that outcome is, that's what you can go with on the paper because, you know, that then at that point it has the practical use. It's just not a look at this toy circumstance, right? So I think that's the one thing that if we were able to achieve that reading,
which
that
reading? The just the resonance of it?
No, to be able to pick up the resonance through the cavitative effect. So pick up the pulse, and be able to measure and store it.
That
You're able to measure what you could pick up off of, like, a pickup coil, for instance, off of the thing. Then you could show that the cavitative effect is what you're able to utilize to be able to throw something into resonance and then have a measurable outcome.
you just need a transformer that has the same frequency to pick up the resonance that's going on, is what you're telling me?
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
could do that easily.
So,
But-
all right. So, being able to hammer that part of it home.
It's
So,
3 of my Tesla coils set one on top of the other would give me right around 94 kilohertz. That's the exact number we need.
so however it has to be configured to be able to pick it up, throw those secondaries into resonance, and then get the reading off of it. That's going to be what is not only a critical measure for seeing what is going on, but that also adds the layer into the paper of the practicality of it. Boy, that's sort of what it boils down to. It's got to be a proof of concept. Like, the efficiency levels don't need to necessarily be there entirely, but you got it. You need to be able to pick it up.
All right. I could do that. I mean, the good thing is coils, the more you attach to them, the more it lowers the frequency. So it's makes my life easier. It's easier going that way than the other way. Let me just say it that way.
Yeah, low being not the easiest.
It's no. The other way's harder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of paving its own road, but I don't hear you. Is it just me?
Sorry, stupid thing. The more mass you attach to it, the lower the frequency gets. The less mass you have, the higher the frequency gets. So by adding things to it, to the coil, in order to pull it out, like capacitor or stuff like that, it lowers the frequency of the coil. So if you're at 250 and you need to bring it down to 150, it's not that terribly difficult. You just keep adding mass to the coil, and then you'll eventually get there.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, they work together because I'm using the same TVS and cat bank, and it's doing the same thing. It's making resonance at a certain frequency, and it shows up on my oscilloscope the same way. So starting up a coil with it is just a fundamental understanding of a coil, which is not that difficult. And then the higher understanding, if you want to get in the hertz level, is, and this is where Floyd Sweet does it, is you got to be able to take the transformer itself and make it the exact hertz of what you're doing in your resonance. So that's just so you guys know, that's the answer to Floyd Sweet. That's why he's got all that energy out of there, because his magnet was doing the work. He took the resonance frequency of what the work in oscillation was, matched it to his transformer, and wrapped his transformer that way, and he got the resonance right out of it. That's Floyd Sweet. Okay.
Yep.
That's what
It's all
he did.
about that. It's all about that tuning anyway, and
that's why he won't show you the box.
But in dead ass, it is and always has been the tuning, because if you could just tune in to whatever energy level it is, you could pick up resonance from it immediately. It doesn't matter what it is. You can pick up resonance off of your fucking sheetrock walls. If you're tuned into the right thing. But thing is that nothing, well, not nothing, but very, very rarely is anything that hyper specific. And as soon as you have it right, then you have it right. That's it.
Yeah. Well, just so we all know, when you do something like this and you put things in resonance like this in more than one, they tend to build out to anything you have in the room. So watch yourself, because you think it's just going to start in one thing and say there's too far of a distance away. No, you're not.
Nope.
The other things will turn on the same way.
Right.
It'll continue to propagate throughout things. That's why the whole building of Tesla, once you got the resonance of the actual iron, you were done. You could take down that building at will.
Yeah, and I mean, that was sort of the thing too, like about that lake example that I constantly forever say. is that the ripples go as far as your eyes can see, plain and simple, and they always do. They just get smaller and smaller in amplitude, and as soon as you can't decipher them any longer, they're still there. You just can't decipher them based on your senses. They just go on and on and on and on. And every single thing that picks up resonance along the way throws out its own, and then next thing you know, you have interference patterns in some places, you have amplification, constructive in others, and
But
but
there's
at the end of the day, that keeps the propagation going at that point directionally.
but there's a reason why it has to match the resonance frequency. So if you just had a frequency, then we turn on a radio and everything will go haywire. But it doesn't because it's not in resonance.
Yeah.
And only when it's in resonance does it start to work that way. And then it only works at a certain distance until it can build out. And we're talking time. It takes days. Most people can't even run their Tesla coil 5 minutes. Guys that run this thing all day. It literally tells you a different answer by the end of the day. So just so you understand that it takes a while. It's not like you can go by somewhere and go, oh, it's in resonance. I picked it up. No, it doesn't work that way.
It takes time. It builds up, builds out. Oh, look who it is. It's Sean. And he's coming in with money.
Right on, Sean. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you, dude.
Hey, Bob was in here earlier looking at some rap stuff, man. Sean's awesome.
No, all good. Yep, we got to keep up the good work.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Don't even worry about it, brother.
Yeah, I would really like to have Bob on when we have more consistent controls in place. Then at that point, it's like it lets us like trying to reason our way around things, and stuff like.
No, he's really into numbers and reports and everything like that. So the more that's documented, the more he's into, the more you can get away from the lens effect and get back into the temperature differential and stuff like that, the more he's interested. That's pretty much where he's at, because everybody gets crazy about the lens effect. And they all got their own opinion. So the only way to shut it up is to never show it and go to the other things that show it. You know what I mean? So you end the argument before it begins. So that's my opinion.
Listen, we can end the argument with the lens effect. Just throw something into the RAB and see where it comes out.
You got to build a second one. Not so easy.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. I remember this one guy that said that if you just isolate the cathode and then made a circle, and then if you wanted to, I mean, you could put like a multi anode array in there. That wasn't part of the original design, but might not have to be, because the arc will be hitting multiple places and be far enough away to possibly build up, possibly. But if not, multi anode it is.
I'll pull this thing off.
I know you.
Right on, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't think so. Huh. Yeah, not for me, buddy. Number one, I'd hate to clean it up. Number two, the smell would be awful. And hot pee is never fun for anyone, especially when it goes back to electrocute your wiener. That's never fun. Yeah, I don't think I'll be trying that one.
The PP is broken up enough that it doesn't ride up the stream like this one on one of those electric fences, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your nuts are becoming the rabs.
Well, the funny thing is that the plasma isn't in a current state, so we don't know how that's going to ride up anything. Because if you recall, from looking at our diagrams the other day, we were sending two currents up the same path, and they were staying separate of each other. And then you see it in practice. See what I mean? Like, so things start to act weird. When you start having all the modes present in the system like that. Yeah, glowing nuts. By the way, Nathan's pan was glowing green, like otherworldly green. And this was not a lens effect or anything like that. Shit was green.
Oh, no. There's lasers coming out of it. These
Yeah.
are precious. Where was
Oh,
that?
lasers, you might have rarefied gas situations too going on.
Oh, I don't doubt it. There's more here.
Man, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah, I'm there with you.
my ears are so bad.
Imagine being deaf and your ears hurt already.
Mm. Oh, not nice.
Yeah, we'll show the thing again.
Yo, Rab Burrito. Rab Burrito.
Oh, don't even tempt me because I will put things through my burrito all day.
Might heat it up pretty quick. You open up the tortilla, there's nothing left inside. It's like a microwave, but it did it in.
Yeah, it's
Took
like
it from the inside out and it just dematerialized the entire beefy cheeseness.
this thing's like a disproportional face. It has like a big honking red nose. The lips are way oversized, and it's got one eye and a yarmulke.
Yeah, for real, I see it. Listen, I mean no disrespect to anybody whatsoever, and because we could all have our own opinions on everything, but like that's literally fucking phenomenal. I don't care if it's a total fluke. That's literally phenomenal. The fact that you took that photo from multiple angles and all the bits and pieces were just still like there, but in a different place. Exactly. Yo, man,
Yeah.
come on. Come on. Like an idiot born every day to fucking think that's nothing. You know, and not to mention in the center of this one. I mean, if you look at what you got going on there, like, yeah, that's some miraculous lensing going on, man. That's some miraculous lensing.
Yeah, this one trips me out because they have outer fields. If you look at it, check it out. They got their own outer fields, all of them. Is that cool or what?
Man, that's I don't know. It's some nice stuff, bro. Well, once you realize there's certain things that you can't trick, okay? Camera sensors, okay, are good at what they do in terms of picking up levels and colors. That's what they do. That's what they're there for, right? So even when something's pitch black, or seemingly, right? It's not. That's just because the exposure levels are low. All right. But using, again, non invasive techniques, all you have to do is multiply up your color levels, which none of these are touched. Right. Look at the detail of that for it to be a lens artifact. It's a lens artifact with dimensionality and shit. Anyway, I mean, again, and I'm not saying it's not a lens artifact. But
Well, whatever it is, it's fun to look at. I think
whatever it is, man, it's
dude, that
literally
temperature
mind-blowing.
test told the story of what this thing is. I just think it's cool.
You could literally see the pin coming out of that thing.
Yeah.
Like concentric ring with a literal node protruding out of the dead center.
Yeah. God, that thing is bright.
Yeah, man, that's one leaky son of a bitch, but it's showing us cool stuff. So just keep it up.
Yeah, just keep it on one side of the table and the other side do the Sean's experiment.
But run them both at the same time, see what goes.
Yeah, I'll send you all the photos. There's a lot, Sean. There's like 200 photos here. We need to find a better way to transfer data. I think there's a program where we can put it all together or share a what do they call it? A drive for all this stuff. That's what we need. Share a drive.
Yeah, we'll get a shared drive. We'll get group chat situation.
Yeah, these pictures are cool and what they show. Where was that one, man? I think This one has a little tornado under it, looks like. Or a little, it's like an egg in
It's
a
like an
margarita
olive.
glass.
It's like an olive in a martini
Yeah,
glass.
there you go. Yeah, cheers, man.
Yeah, that's your cosmic egg, bro.
Yeah, it paid off better than that one guy's. That little shitty egg he put out
But
there was big
I'll tell you
eyes.
what, as thick as that thing is, right? Well, go back to that last one real quick. Like, look at all this. Like, zoom into that entire situation because whatever's going on, down a little. Oh, wait, that's on my screen. Okay, yeah, down a little. Yeah, right there. Like, what's going on there?
Smoke.
Is it? Yeah.
Let me tell you about my technique here, Joe. If it's smoking or anything else, I'm letting it go. And here's why. Okay. The smoke itself, does it interact with the wrap? Does it pull it around it? Is it making it move in a different direction? Is there some other effect going on? So if
Cool.
it's
Well, pull it
smoking,
back up and let's see again because
if
now
it's
with
smoking, we
context,
leave
let's
it.
pull it back up and see because there was
And
some shit going on there.
it swirls just fine.
Yeah, right. It's actually mimicking exactly what it's doing. Got an inner and outer geometry, and for what it's worth, it looks like it's actually convex on this side, meaning that it's actually going away from it.
Yeah. Well, you see, there's always more than one way to look at it. And this is why you let the experiment go. Don't get worried about a little smoke. I create fires all the time. I started one immediately when I put the tape on everything. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that was going to pan out in the pan.
well, just remember not to put your cathode by the tape.
Mm.
You know, it might help. See, here's another smoke one, Joe.
Oh yeah.
Look right there. We're smoking it out.
Oh, it's vortexing a little bit. I mean, it's not a huge vortex, but it's got a spiral in there.
That's what I'm saying. You know that it's turning. You already know it.
It's actually turning this way, but also wrapping around it counterclockwise too. Which remember what we said about it, the counterclockwise motion. When Sean had the counterclockwise rotational magnet around it, it started up almost immediately. And that's also when we got all the weird torsion effects and stuff too.
Well, yeah.
Oh, wait, you had a huge spiral on that last one. Go back to 2 or 3.
This one?
One more. Yeah. Okay, maybe that's just one of those lens effect things.
No,
I was looking at
it's
the left side.
It's not in this pan. It's the one that has a magnet underneath it. This is a different set. Dude, I gotta put these up in a video.
It's blowing black out of it, bro. What the hell is that? No, I'm dead ass. Look at that. Yo, it's zoned out and it's blowing black out of it.
You see a black cross going in behind it, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, what's up with that? Yo, you should bottle that and sell it. You know what I mean? You'd be like, yo, some violet dark matter.
Well, I'll tell you what, the black isn't there when you turn off the reaction. It's gone.
That's black emanation. Well, first of all, I need a screenshot of this. You'll send me all these photos later anyway, but I need a screenshot. Dude, that is not normal. There is nothing normal about this picture. There's literal rays of light above the black emanation, and it's all zoned out. There's nothing normal about this picture.
Yeah. It shows up
there.
there.
It's still there again.
I told you it builds out nodes. I tried to show you that earlier.
Nodes of what? The devil?
No.
Dude, that is black. That is black, and it's lit up. What is that? Dude, that is not explainable easily. It's black on the pan. It's shining black on the pan. You can't shine black. That's not a shadow.
No, it's not. No, that's coming out of the light. It's almost like a forest green on some of them.
Dude, I have no idea what that is, but that is not normal. I mean, it looks like it's red spectrum to a certain degree, but whatever, it's darkening. That makes no sense.
Well,
It's acting like light.
could be a reason why space is always dark, but always has energy. There's a real one. Look at that.
I mean, dude, I don't have I mean, I have reasonable explanations, but I don't feel even comfortable saying them on a live. A, before contemplating them fully, but B, just generally, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can see it looks like black soot. There's nothing on there. When you
Yeah,
turn it
no,
on.
it's not. It doesn't look like matter. It's acting like light. I mean, that looks like more like a shadow. But the other one's like
No,
not that situation.
well, on the right, it looks like soot. Look at it. But it's not. There's no soot there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's just some weird stuff. You can't have something blowing that much light off of it right above pure black darkness, man. It's not how things work.
Well, not that we know of, but they may soon tell another story.
Well, I love telling other stories. I think it's the other side of it, if you know what I mean. And I've been saying that, but I've never seen it like that. I've seen zoning before.
But you know what? It's a high voltage reaction, which makes sense when you have a quasar or something like that. You get the black everywhere still around it. It doesn't mean it's energyless. It's energy everywhere. It's a misconception that we would think
It
there's
would
no
have to do with
energy.
coherence at that point. If your light is so coherent that it's just not in, it's just simply not reflecting, refracting, or diffusely affecting the environment, and it's such a high density level that it's bringing everything else with it on a ride. Well, maybe it just ends up dark underneath it where it's lit up on top. It's just super strange. It looks like it's acting like light, but it's not.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, huh?
Uh,
Yeah, you have to look at these things in full detail, man. They have a lot of different
well,
significant
yeah,
things.
I'm gonna go through all hundreds and hundreds of them and photo manipulate them and etc. And see
See,
what's going on.
there's a Rav buddy sitting right over there.
Yeah. Yep. We're gonna name those, by the way. These things need names. Just so we could refer to them continuously.
Yeah.
And then people could like tell us that we're wrong and shit, blah blah blah, and it's something else.
They
And be
always
like,
tell
yeah,
us we're
that's
wrong.
fine. You know, then we could sell them a T-shirt that says E equals GFY squared.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe.
solve that equation for a while.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking for something. Yeah, you can see that reaction right there, man. That's awesome.
Notice how, okay, hold on. That was an interesting one. Go back because that actually showed something that's worth mentally noting. Do you see how you have it's broken, right? Or something? Or no, or it's a lip? What's the deal there? There's some geometric change of the clay in that situation.
Oh, it's taller on that side.
Taller on that side, okay? It's collapsing and catching the edge because it's only emanating at that level. And it's catching at that edge and nowhere else. And that's weird. That's just weird. There's no reason that should be. Funny enough, if you look, the pot's out of focus, the Rav's in perfect focus in the last one. See how everything okay. There's your lens effect, everybody. Hold on. Screenshot. Proof. There's your lens effect. You ever see a reflection on a lens go out of focus? Zoom in. I'm zoomed in. How's it out of focus? Can't out of focus something that's superimposed on top of the lens itself. It's not how that works.
Look at that. It looks like a sperm. It's got a big head and a tail.
It is.
Oh, we got a sperm in there.
Yeah. So it's funny how it's like on a certain level that it wants to be. Like right now, it's just on the surface of the clay. Sure. That one was crazy. That one's crazy too.
Yeah, look at that.
Lens effect, except it's literally a cross that's emanating golden rays from around it. It looks like every like Jesus necklace I've ever seen in my life.
Well, yeah, like on the church, because there's the cross, and then behind it is all the other rays of everything that builds out in the circle.
Yeah.
It's like a staff.
Yeah. Like a Shiro, which is an Ankh. The
There you
staff.
go, right there.
Which isn't that another correlation? Isn't a Shiro directly correlated with the Alpha and Omega also? In fact, I'm pretty sure I've seen Shiros with Alphas and Omegas like directly correlated with that. Super funny.
Yeah, by the way, the surfaces everywhere are reflective, and it's blackening them out. Just so we understand that, that's a highly reflective stainless surface, and it's all being blacked out except for where it wants the color.
It should be picking up any ambient light whatsoever and throwing it somewhere.
See, the only part you get it is over here in the corner, and then the corner over here. And then down here, that's it. Other than that, it's blocking out everything.
I mean, your black light has dumbfounded me. Dude. That's some like gin shit right there. That's like rub the lamp and watch the black smoke come out, and you'd be like, you have 3 wishes, and that's what it is. Well, either that or like pin you down in your bed and try to suck your soul out of your body while you can't move and you're fully conscious.
Okay, check this out. You can see the sphere around it. There's a definite line where everything goes around it in a circle. Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
So it's a bubble inside with the cross going through it. That's exactly like the staffs that those people have. And I bet you they got some kind of jewel in the center. That I don't doubt.
Magneto Freak's making a good point because we're seeing other things, right? And again, sometimes it's what you don't see. He says that inflowing green cancels out purple. Well, yes, green and purple are inverse light spectrum. Outflowing purple cancels out green. Hence why you get a transparent area, not black. But that does make sense, but the light and that actually layers on what I was saying before about like the light coherence must be there, because in order for it to cancel out as black, you still have light actually shining above it that's simply not interacting with it. And then that still doesn't explain the areas that are complete black. Like that might explain the cross, Although some of the emanation from the what appears to be black I've seen had very, very obvious like red markers in it. So it was definitely like infrared spectrum sort of stuff. Or red spectrum just generally. But the ones previous, man, that's black. I'm sorry, I'm dying over here, but trying to hold it together too.
That's all right. I just want to look and see if I can find that staff.
Black is an illusion of distance. Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's also a subject to contrast, also, because anytime you have something light next to something dark, you have something very, very bright next to like something that's kind of gray. Well, the gray could very well look black in that context, but it's just high strangeness because of the way that it's acting is like light. Space isn't black, it's transparent. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
Okay, come on. There's got to be a good picture of this.
Well, we know that light really doesn't manifest, but for its reflection, refraction, sort of situation that goes on, and if it's hits something that's reflected, we see it, or whatnot. That's matter dependent. So when you see something that's black, I mean, what that means is that it's actually just repelling everything, which says something else too. I mean, if you figure out what repels light to the point where it's jet black like that, trust me that lies in like a folder somewhere in like like classified on need to know basis stuff. We can come up with the mechanism of exactly what turns something pitch black and makes it impermeable to light. Well, you just figured out a good one there. Everybody's going to want that.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. I'm here with you. I'm looking at something because I've seen the image before. Okay, and there's some that are close and then some that are far away. And it has to do with how the cross builds out with a circle around it. So here, I'll show this one, but it's not exactly at all what I was thinking. Oh, that's the wrong one. I need that one. Oh, come on, Nathan. Get the right button. That's the wrong one.
So we're equally disastrous today. People are hanging in there with us, though, so I appreciate that.
So you see the cross and you see the ring around it?
Yep.
Okay, but that's not just what it's doing. Oh, man, where is
You can
it?
find it with the rays, man.
You see all the block around that one? Sorry. There you go. Is it still showing? Yeah, okay. I'm looking for it because it's a staff. It's literally on a staff of a church.
Are you talking about the Shiro?
I don't know. How do you spell that?
CHI. Next word, RHO.
No, there's a gold staff that they carry around, and it's in Europe. And it's got a light burst from the center of it. And it's exactly what we're looking at. I don't know why they're sending me all these crappy pictures.
Yeah, those are, even you typed in Shiro and that's what came up. That's like not, that's the PX guy. That's the staff with the cross. I've replaced the Ankh with the Shiro and the Alpha Omega because if you see, Shiro's paired with Alpha Omega. You see this?
Yeah, this isn't it.
This is Vatican work right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like this. You see the lights coming out of it?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The rays, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know why they don't have a good picture of it.
What are you searching on, man? That don't look like Google.
No, this is a pin page.
Oh, Pinterest. Gotcha.
Okay, you see that right there? How the light emanates out of it?
Oh yeah, the thing with the all-seeing eye in the middle. Yep, I see it.
That's
Not relevant whatsoever to what we're talking about, evidently.
except for the rays. That's what I'm getting at. It's how the light propagates out from it. God, why don't they just have it?
Being
Frustrating.
stubborn, man. Go to Google, like for crying out loud.
Google doesn't do it because Google's a pain in the butt because they don't believe in anything that has to do with religion.
I don't know, man. I find everything I need.
It's kind of like this, but there's a cross in the center of it.
Yeah, I
Now
got
we're
you.
getting closer. All right. You see how it builds out rays of light?
Yeah.
This would be the image if I showed the Rav in the center of it.
Well,
But it
you,
also
you can
builds
see the
out-
wrap in the center of it with the damn literal mirror that they put in the center of it, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the point, I guess. I guess
Right.
one of
I
these
mean,
would
is
work.
that the
But
reason that you can only see it with a lens as a reflection? Is because it is a mirror? Oh,
Yeah.
like.
Well, they built it into all their stuff, man. They already knew it.
Oh yeah, no, they already did. Trust me, this stuff is well already been known. It's very deeply esoteric and occulted, man. That's what it is. This is what people go through ranks in secret societies never to ever find out. You know,
By
'Cause
the
they're-
way, there's your
oh,
chalice, Joe.
yo, that's the exact chalice, is it not?
With the light sitting right above it, there's your chalice.
All right. So what do you get? You get the cross of the Knights Templar, who look for the Holy Grail, the chalice with the ray and body around it. And then you look at our pictures, and that's what you got. You know, I know it's rough for some people when we bring theology into this, but like, unfortunately, when you consistently see theological symbolism, direct correlation, and then analogous, it becomes very hard to ignore.
That kind of tells a story, huh?
I'd say so.
No, they always show him with the vortex in the back, or they always show him with the light behind his head. I wonder why. In every single one of these.
Harold says he knows a lot about the Holy Grail, so he should tell us about it.
Kind of like that. You see that?
Yeah, I mean, these are artistic renditions. Artists will do as they may, but then there's some, when you like, I mean, and I don't really love how the Catholic Church runs things because I feel like they keep a lot of the information secret, but once you realize that their higher practices and everything are directly related to all this stuff in general, and that only the highest of the high get the full benefit of all this stuff and the knowledge. You start to realize that the further up you go into Vatican type symbolism and stuff, you'll see all that same type of symbolism that you've seen across the ancient world as well. And that's really where, because once you start getting into artist renditions and stuff, you start getting into like people who saw things, who think things are cool, who thought things are nice, that they're
No,
going to make
no.
a beautiful thing. You
I
know
was
what I mean?
looking. I have it saved. I'll pull it up for you and show it to you. It's a very specific picture of a cross that they use in a church in England. Okay, that has everything that looks just like that picture. Okay. Oh man, there, there's a reason the Shroud of Turin was done the way it's done, and it can only be done with a high voltage effect. Sorry, man. There's more going on here than what people want to think. The light body, all of it goes into this. That's why we went through everything. We're going through all the different types of energy on the channel. You know, I mean, you think they're not tied in? Every single one of them are. Every last one of them are tied in together. Everything that we've shown, every thing from ancient Atlantis all the way up to you know what I mean? We're looking at organite. All of it is tying in the same way. It's making the same repeating patterns, and it doesn't lie. It doesn't lie when it tells you it over and over and over again. No matter what you want to say or what religious belief you want to put around it, it doesn't lie.
Yeah. It's, you know, I mean, Gerald saying Holy Grail brings double-edged sword. It could heal or it could, you know, and you know what? That's the same exact thing with the Ark of the Covenant. It's the same exact thing with any of those sorts of things. I just think that it's, you know, I don't know that I believe in coincidence entirely. I think that things are incidental sometimes that, you know, if you don't recognize the significance of what it is or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But, you know, whenever you see that type of architecture, you know, that's going on in correlation with directly other related architecture, and then it's actually a repeating pattern of here it is, here it is, here it is. But then you see stuff like the black emanation-ish stuff, like that doesn't make, you know, like that needs to be taken with that same exact caution, you know, the rest of it's taken with, because I don't really know what the deal with that black light is, to be real. I mean, is it what we're saying, just wavelength cancellation? Yeah, very well could be. But I don't know, man. I've never seen a black emanation that's acting like light before, that's pitch black with light shining on top of it. That's just strange.
Okay, so hold on. Let's just go back to this real quick. Is that the? I won't show it. Okay.
Yeah, and you know, Gerald, we know that you are up on this and that you've had your own personal experiences with it and everything like that. And you know, you're more than welcome to come on and share your experiences and stuff, you know.
The Celtic cross always is shown as the cross with the circle around it.
Circle, yep.
But that's what that picture is showing.
Yeah, but I know the cross you're talking about. You're talking about the cross that in the center of the cross it has the ray emanation from it from the center.
Yes. Yeah. And it has a cross going right through the center of all of it.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we have photographs of.
Yeah.
And then aside from having photographs of, the diagrams I showed you the other day also have the cross in the center of the star. So
I guess
it is what it is.
My understanding of this is not so much of what you put a belief into what it does. It's how they saw it, when they saw it, and what did they do to see it. Because regardless of what the effects are of it, I want to know why. So the why question is, did they use high voltage to see everything? Was only the monks in the church be able to see it? And is that what they're passing down? Now, what the Grail does, what it, you know, whatever, what the Ark of the
By the way,
Covenant
I'm not
does,
saying that we
whatever,
have the
I
Holy
just want to
Grail
know the
either.
science.
The symbolism is just a bit uncanny and also paralleled with other symbolism that's directly related. Just, you know, again, coincidence? Yeah, okay, sure, maybe. But something brings that symbolism to light.
There's just a total story here that's being told, not just one thing, and I truly believe that. There's an entire thing being told, and people brush over stuff all the time way too fast, and they don't see it. And whatever. It's the important part. When you see it, make your connection. Get it, do the next one, make the connection. Pretty soon you find out that everything can be built out just like the universe. And then you'll have all of it. Well, that's cool. If we marked it by God, then absolutely. Like I said, not gonna really bother me either way.
Right? I love the saying, and I've been saying it a lot lately. We do our best. And what that means to different people means to different people. We do our best.
Well, everything marked by God in though, isn't it? I mean, like, here's the phrase that bothers me in church, okay? We're all God's children. Jesus is God's son. We're all God's children. Jesus is God's son. Now,
Yeah, I mean, I don't find conflict with that, but okay.
I find conflict in it in that he's individualizing one person over everyone else, but you're saying everybody else is equal. That's where I have the problem with it. That they're not the same thing.
All right. So when I was talking about like kind of how I believe reality and creation is, okay, the sphere, like a breakdown and coalescence and a separation to parts, and then the parts are the same but they're different, and then there's like kind of like a material deposition thing that occurs and recoalesces in the center, and then a light thing that shines through it all, and all, like it doesn't hit all the stuff in the less dense zones, but when it starts recoalescing, that's when the light actually hits and shines upon. Well, everything that is in coalescence at the center that shines through all that's above, is basically has God projected in his entirety to all points, but in different manifest ways. That's how I personally see it and believe or like to think about it. You really can't conceive of what it actually is, but the best way I could put it. But the point that I'm trying to make is, if you imagine for a second that that's what everything else is, but Jesus Christ himself, okay, was actually the reflection of the light itself directly on through and onto and whole and entirety of the whole of God into the specific, like in play with the rest of the existence. That's what I personally believe. So like when he says that, well, he's my son. Well, it's because it is of him, but it's also a reflection fully of himself. So that's why Jesus is God, but not necessarily like, there's a separation because it's not the same exact thing. It's a reflection of in its entirety in a different form than he would ever otherwise exist. And that separates that circumstance from every other circumstance. That's what I believe. I mean, and it makes sense in basis of my own beliefs of scientifically how everything that we know has come to exist. Because, again, there's a process with that's totally explainable with the science that we believe. But again, if we're only just like God's light shining on the breakdown portions of God, then we're only like so much God, even if we have all of them within us, we're not him, right? Whereas if you reflect him back down and onto, then it is him. It's just an emanation that does, it's of a higher and more pure form. So there's definitely an ability. I mean, you could go into the whole, well, how'd he mirror himself? I mean, listen, like there's certain things that we don't ask and don't question because it's beyond our comprehension, but you follow the model kind of makes sense. And then that's how you can differentiate him from us. But that's how I sort of look at it. I don't know.
Okay.
Like you don't really question certain aspects of it because there are things that no matter how far you go with this, the reality of it all is so abundantly inconceivable that that's why you don't question it, because our physical reality is incapable of the comprehension that is. And that's sort of it. Like why when we start talking about higher dimensional space, like people get lost, or like we talk about like other dimensions and stuff, and it's like, yeah, you check out of the dimension. Well, what the fuck does that mean? You have an issue with that, and then it's like, well, if you think about it like an old school TV where like you turn a dial and you go from channel 11 to channel 12, there's channel 11, there's channel 12, but then in between there's like, because you're not in tune with any of it. Once you realize everything is just slightly out of phase with one another, it's a matter of tuning in. Well, then you could be here, there, whatever, and it's all different. The same physics at a different level. Like it just acts differently. So the physics that works in the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, whatever, right? If you tune back into the third dimension, all of a sudden, like, you could have manipulated different circumstances third dimensionally through those higher channels. That's how it goes. I
don't know. I find people who are deeply into things that they never get past it and can't grow. When you're set in your belief, you won't grow. And that's because you'll never see the other side of it. You'll never go to certain numbers because they're off limits. You'll never have a black cat because it brings you think something with it, and you don't understand why. Okay?
Yeah, but there tends to be this little like nuanced difference there, because it's the difference between putting yourself in a box, okay, and only seeing like the walls around you, versus like a form of like gnosis, for instance, where like people believe in certain things, but like there's a difference between a belief and knowing. Like there's certain things like I like to believe, then there's certain things that I definitively know. And that's sort of where it comes down to. The more truth that you definitively know because you've experienced it, the better off you are. That's sort of what it boils down to, and you can only do that through experience.
I'm just saying, somebody set in their beliefs will never grow beyond a certain point. I'm sorry.
I agree. That's a box.
That's why, this whole religion thing, it gets at me sometimes. I don't want to listen to the church because the church put you in a box. I'm not sheep. I'm not one of the sheep. I will not follow in that manner. I don't give a fuck who you are. I won't do it. Okay?
Don't blame me.
You know what I mean? I will be the shepherd until it's time to lay down my staff and give it to the Almighty Himself. Okay? That's just the way it's going to be.
That's the good attitude to have, man. I don't know that anybody else wanted it any other way.
But I will give it willingly. Okay? There's a difference there. It's not that I want to rule everything. It's not that at all. It's just I'm not going to let somebody tell me this is witchcraft or this is Jesus's belief or this is some alien's belief. I don't give a crap. I want the technology, so I'm going to go through it all, okay, and see if any of it works.
Well, I want the gnosis, so I'll go through it all through that. That's it, and I agree with you. And but Gerald brings up a good point. And it's like, and this is where I'm at. He says I grow every day. I have a black cat, and I study demonology, and I guess he meant necromancy, I suppose. I look at both sides always, because guess what? If you don't know the other side of anything that you choose to, subscribe to, well, then you only have half the equation, don't you? We need to know what the inverse is of everything that we do, right?
Well, to everybody their own, Not everybody has to believe the same way I do. That's for sure.
Oh, he's talking about the Devil Bible. Sorry, my eyesight's not that good, so I just thought you typoed. Yeah, but now that I'm looking closer, it says the Chronicon. Yeah, that's what they call that shit. Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep. That is what they call it. No, that's it. You need to know the both ways. Well, what it boils down to is what's important to you. And you want to know something? The answer typically is to spin on the spiral and still be a human. That's sort of what the answer tends to be, because you go too far this way or too far that way, you just end up either a fucking terrible person or just totally out of your mind. And neither one of them is ultimately all that good. We're here for a human experience. That's why we exist. Yep, I know exactly what you mean, Gerald. I'm on board with you, man. You got to know both sides, and I agree. That's why I've read like Aleister Crowley, for instance, at like great length and
Well, that's what
extensively.
isn't that what I
You know
just
these
said?
things.
I
Yep,
just said the same thing.
you did.
Whatever. Oh man, today's a hard day. Dude, my ears are killing me. My head's freaking hot, dude. Oh,
I think we're in tune to wrap it up, though, man. I got in an hour and a half. I got that.
no, that's right.
Possibly that. I don't know. I guess maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, if I don't get picked out of the hat today, man, I'm just going to email them and be like, listen, you guys talk about this crap all the time. Nobody's come to the table with any sort of substance. This isn't a theory. We're doing it. It's still in work in progress. Don't get me wrong, but whatever. And then I'll just spill it out to them and see if they'll let me on. Or see, better yet, see if they let us on. But you
You
know,
know, things are just about time. I'm not worried about it, Joe. They get us on, get us not have us on, whatever. My channel's growing every month. Okay. Before I know it, man, just showing the experiments will get me somewhere. Okay. And then no one's gonna be able to tell me anything from their channel, and I won't care.
well, you keep on showing cups with Eucharist coming out of it with bright lights and stuff, and crosses with prismatic emanation, and you know, you're probably going to end up with multiple crowds.
Yeah. Just the way it's gonna go.
That's
All
it.
right, man. It's all good.
Wahoo says, or better word for them, tools.
Yeah.
Damn right, bunch of tools.
Oh man. Yeah, however you believe, man. I'm there with you. I'll go my own way like I always do.
And one day we will both once again not feel like shit simultaneously.
Yeah.
We didn't even go off the rails today, barely at all, because my head is just like it's like.
Yeah, I had things I had to do today too. I'm like, man, I'm way behind.
Yeah, that's probably like God's will on me for knowing I have to do this presentation, because you know me, I'll off the rails like real quick, and not on that show I won't, because I'll never be invited back. No chance.
Yeah. Well, Gerald says it's not about popularity. Well, let me just clue everybody into this. Without that, the word doesn't get out, because there's no one going to tell everybody how everything works besides yourself. That's it.
Well,
Unless you come out and shout it, nobody's going to hear it. You can have it
Well-
all to yourself, but you know what I mean? And hide in a little book, ain't nobody going to know it unless you shout it. And that's the way it's got to be done. So that's why I have to be the one to do it, because other people are just going to come out with their own emanation of it, and it's going to be garbage compared to what I'm going to show them.
so the one thing worth saying is that one of the great truths of all humankind, okay, has been that the real truth, okay, is for the few, not many. Okay, the real truth is for the few, not many. And the thing is that at the end of the day, we all want to be that person that screams it from the top of the mountain and be heard. But the fact is that the repeating cycle tends to be that the truth is for the few, not many. Because the many simply don't understand and don't grasp, and the few do. And then, it boils back down to, more like Hermetic wisdom, where it's like, well, the lips of the wise are sealed, but for the ears of understanding, sort of deal. But that's only in the deeper levels of it when you're actually showing the work and whatnot, and it's like then you start to gain the traction, and that's what we're here trying to do. That's all.
Wow. Well, for the pure of heart, not the search for glory.
That's true. It's not about the recognition, just about the good intent. The good intent.
God, some people get this shit so fucking twisted.
Yeah.
No. Maybe you don't know who I am, and maybe you need to figure it out real fucking fast. Okay? Very humble person. Always put those around me before myself. Okay? Always do things for them without asking for anything in return. I know how humble I am. Okay? I know who I am. Okay? I do this to help people. I'm in retirement right now. I could sit back and not do a damn thing. I could sit on my fist and lean back on my thumb every day of the week. It's not what I do. Okay? I don't need a paycheck from this. I don't need any of it. I give out to those who need it. You can ask anybody. That's the way I work. Maybe you just don't know me well enough. Maybe that's all it is. So, whatever. It's all good, man. Some people will just take longer to figure the shit out.
Yeah. Listen. Rather than sitting on your fist, you could just be doing this and not having a YouTube show explaining it all, and actually get some shit, like actually be so much further ahead.
I'll be light years ahead.
But showing the work is the important thing. Say it's for recognition, but at the end of the day, it's not. It's really just about
the work's the recognition.
It's about doing it, and it's about being able to get the word out there and being like, here we are. But,
yeah. All right, guys. I just want to say thank you to everybody. I want to thank Darren. Earlier gave out an Old Man Bill's membership. They're totally awesome of you.
Thank you, sir.
Sean gave $9.99, man. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. Dude, thank you everybody in the chat today for hanging out with us and seeing everything. I will put out a video for all of these pictures in it so you guys will be able to see it. And then I'll throw out the shorts on there, videos that you guys will be able to check everything out. So with that said, guys, thank you very much. Have yourself a great night.
All right, folks. Peace and love.
The old man Bill. The old man Bill. The old man Bill. The old man builds. The old man builds is broken in the head. People not seeing reality has put him in the red. Where conscious and spirituality been stricken from the norm and replaced with the ignorance of basic magnetic form. The geometry of God keeps running through his head. That's what makes old man builds broken in the head. The old man builds. The old man builds. Spheres of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. 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 wheels of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time. Battling the establishment for just a little recognition has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds,